Hello everybody, this is White Void Jojo. I was making this audio clip in advance to let you all know that I've been sick for the past week or so, and you should, not worry too much if my audio sounds a bit strained or my voice sounds a little too quiet, but recently, like I said, I've been straining my voice with this sickness, so I appreciate your understanding and have fun watching the rest of the video.
In the rainbow factory.
Hey, welcome to the White Void Jojo and the Rainbow Factory tonight with
Good job,
Tuck
Joey.
and
Good job.
I was doing that to sync us up. I always
Okay,
make those stupid.
whatever.
I always make those. The only reason I do that, ayo, because that's so everybody will hear it through their audio. So now you know the origins of my stupid greeting. It was.
damn it.
It was a mic. It was a mic test that became a gimmick. So
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Anyway.
We don't need to go get into that shit anymore.
anyway, tonight we Tuck had the great idea that we discuss particularly horror games and perhaps possibly delve into anime of it as well with just horror games in general tonight. Might as well figure it's like
Or whatever
it was
the fuck that we'll segue into.
Yeah, segue. Pretty much just earlier we were talking about Silent Hill and Tuck just suggested, hey, let's just do a video of this. So here we are, and we were discussing Silent Hill 3 and why I need a copy of it again. And
I need to get a copy of that game too.
yeah, pretty much we're discussing the aesthetics of the game and the theming and how I like the other world in Silent Hill 1 and 3 better than Silent Hill 2.
Understandable.
I still say that it's pretty good in Silent Hill 2, and then it does the job that it needs to do.
Well, yeah, it being more gray and fleshy.
Again, the gray bits in Silent Hill 2, that's not the other world. You can specifically tell what the other world is when you get there.
Yes, but I'm just saying it's still not as vibrant. I will put in a picture comparing 2 and 3.
The prison.
You got me there.
Yeah, enough said. Shut up. That's one of the that's the other world. That's probably one of the very few parts of the other world in that game. Because they really just go ahead and show off, the town itself with its dingy, stained, waterlogged, broken down mess that it is. Just letting that set the atmosphere rather than showing off, look at this hot, broken, rusting, hellfire otherworld that we usually show.
Hey, I like that hot, broken, rusted hellfire.
Yeah, I know, it's a staple of Silent Hill, but I'm just saying that Silent Hill 2 did a better job going in a different direction. They still brought back that vibrant hellfire, rusting, etc. bit into the game with its other world, but again, it wasn't the main focus.
Okay, point taken. What are your thoughts on this, Tuck, in terms of Silent Hill in general?
I'm not a huge Silent Hill fan, so I don't really have much to say about this series. I just like Silent Hill 2 more than the other ones, because, mostly I feel like, its story isn't more of the, overused cult story that's usually used in these type of horror games.
Yeah.
It's more of in depth with what the main character is more going on in his life and how fucked up in the head he is, and how basically everybody and everything around him is symbolic to his struggle as a character.
It is, but personally, I like to think that a lot of video games don't represent cultists properly. We cultists are an oppressed bunch, mind you.
You need to be oppressed.
If you're not oppressed, you're gonna destroy the world.
How are we going to do... Well, okay, you know what? That is a...
how about talk to the unitologists
and
in Dead Space, so shut the fuck up.
Dude, the unitologists are just Scientologists in space, and you know that.
I know, which is why I'm saying we'll talk to the fucking unitologists.
No. The only way I would ever join that crazed cult from Dead Space is if it actually involved, Azathoth, but No, I'm gonna stay down here with the Cult of Cthulhu.
Well, it does involve tentacle monsters, so
Yeah, but
I
it
don't know.
involves it involves necromorphs. Screw those things. Those things are horrible, horrible things.
So
I saw.
thing aliens.
Oh God, I remember
That's
watching
basically
them.
what they are.
Another thing
I
I
remember
admire
watching-
like about Dead Space and Silent Hill is that they don't rely on jump scares like most games do to instill
Well,
horror.
no. Silent or Dead Space does rely
like
on jump
like
scares.
sometimes but it's not like the whole thing about the game. It's not
No, yeah,
entirely
that's
about
true.
it. Like it uses it, but not like to a very like oversaturated degree.
And usually the one jump scare that they do tend to play up a lot with the the obviously not dead necromorph laying on the ground motionless, popping up suddenly when you get near it. They use that in a way to basically train you to just check every body, cut off as many limbs as you possibly can, and move on. So it's more of a training, a gameplay like element to this, the story of the game itself. Trying to
One
get you
thing,
to...
one thing I do like that's Dead Space 2 did, and this did one of the best installments of fear ever.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's
You
the
already
Return
know.
to Ishimura, right? Return to
Yes,
Ishimura.
it was not. It was the Return to Ishimura, and I do have video footage. I will probably post it right here. It was like one of my first Let's Plays with Corey, but when the Regenerator first showed up in Dead Space 2, how like
Oh,
the
that
lights
one.
cut off, and you see all these guys firing at this pair of eyes walking through the darkness.
I think that was the second best moment. I was referring to when they returned to the Ishimura ship, and there was just nothing for like 10 minutes straight. Just nothing.
So yeah, you're just anticipating the worst.
And you see all this damage from the last game, and you're like, okay, the necromorphs are here. Where are they? And there's just nothing.
If anything, I do like that, but one thing I really did like that Dead Space 2 did, I really do, but unfortunately it led to a rather anticlimactic ending, was the whole you going nuts. To me, I loved that. It was one of the few, maybe the insanity effects weren't as potent as Eternal Darkness or Call of Cthulhu, but they were just enough to make you kind of do a double check on everything. Do a double take. If anything, I would love a Silent Hill game that incorporated insanity effects. We would have had that. Had Konami not been shitbags.
Yeah.
He's even
going
going
back
on
to-
Konami anymore.
They're
last
set on
we
fire.
heard-
Moving
fire.
on.
last we heard, they were on fire.
Anyway, moving on from that, but going back to...
Silent Hill.
No,
2.
actually going back to Dead Space. Despite the fact that Silent Hill 2 is not as scary as... Dead Space 2 is not as scary as Dead Space 1. I think it's an overall better game. Like, just overall.
of-
Better story, better gameplay, better creatures that can freak you the fuck out.
Especially
Like,
those
goddamn
little
those
children.
babies. And the children.
No,
Jesus.
the children are the worst.
You hear them. You hear them first. You don't ever see them first.
That's one of those alerting signs. But going back off of that, just like back to Silent Hill 2, as Tuck was saying, he is not wrong. It is more personal when it comes to fear, because
And
I think that's what a lot of horror games really... I think that's what... Soma, a good example. Soma was a good example of a horror game that really gets personal with you.
Now,
And that's something...
the thing is, that's because it's through a linear story in that, like asking philosophical questions, and considering that you're into that kind of stuff, Joey. So it would
Existential
get personal with you.
crisis.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's you.
I don't know,
about Silent Hill
ending...
Well,
That ending shunts would really take a lot of people's personal views and kick them in the nuts. So
no,
don't
it
give
would
me
just
that.
take your personal views because you're
No.
into that kind of crap.
No. At the risk of spoiling, I will tell you
Spoilers!
what happens. At the risk of spoiling, I will tell you what happens in Soma. midway, I wouldn't say like 3/4 through the game, you have to get a new suit, a power suit. You already discovered the fact that you are a consciousness that was uploaded into a power suit as it was. You're basically controlling a dead body in a power suit. So you need a new power suit. One that can withstand up to like 4,000 meters down into the abyss of the ocean. And you go through this, and Karen is explaining to you, it's like, okay, you're going to upload your subconscious into there. For anybody who knows how computers work, for anybody who knows how uploading and copying files work, say for example your brain is in a flash drive. You put the flash drive in the computer, boom, the computer has your brain in it. Here's the problem. It only makes a copy. The brain's still in the flash drive, and it's on the computer. He had that little existential crisis when he realized when he was uploaded into the new suit, he heard his previous self going, "Hey, what's going on? I don't think it worked." That's enough to freak anybody out, because he's trying to figure out, what am I going to do now? So rather than leave him in that little station to get attacked by the that avatar for this I can't remember what it was called. It was this thing that created structure gel. Rather than that leaving him to just like suffer in there, he ended up pulling the plug on his previous self. And it's like, okay, it's understandable. You had to, kill yourself, because if anything, that would have been a mercy for him, because he can't go down in the abyss, and he still would have died regardless. But the very end of the game, you had to upload your consciousness into this arc where all of the other people who were down in there, who had put, like, the last of humanity, had copied their consciousness into this arc, which is why like 90% killed themselves immediately after. They put their consciousness into that arc, and at the very last second, you managed to get yours and Karen uploaded into there. Boom! It launches off into space, and you think you've made it, but then you realize you're still sitting in the chair at the bottom of the ocean, and all the power has gone out, and Karen's just like saying, like, I tried to explain it to you, you technically made it to space, but you're still stuck down here. To which the main character had an understandable reaction of, fuck you, fuck this place, fuck everything down here. Suddenly Karen breaks. You're just stuck sitting at the bottom of the ocean, while another you thinks he made it. So the whole point of it is just like this horrible existential crisis that ended up like winding up at the very end of this. Congratulations, you win and you lose.
Who cares? That's all I can really say. I get the existential crisis. Fair enough. Like there's another you out there that's actually going to succeed while you're sitting in the bottom of the ocean, about to fucking die. I get it.
No,
and I get the idea. I get the idea.
Calm down, guys. Calm down.
Like,
one at a time.
No.
Shut up, Joey. Let me.
I've made it
shut
clear,
up, Joey.
though.
Shut up, Joey. Shut up,
Guys,
Joey.
Professional.
Let me
podcast.
finish before you. I know where you're gonna cut in. You're talking about the idea of like having two versions of you that are exactly the same.
No, I'm not. I don't care about that anymore. I don't care about that. That's not even like my personal greed and stuff stepping in. I'm talking about, you're not about to die. You're just stuck forever at the bottom of the ocean with nothing. The monster's dead. Nothing's going to kill you down there. You're just stuck waiting in loneliness, waiting to expire for God knows how long, because that suit apparently lasted like decades.
You got
That's the horror of that.
It's not really horrifying.
Yeah, you're
stuck.
isolated. Everybody on the Earth is dead. Everybody on the Earth is dead.
That
you're
sucks.
the only What?
That sucks, but I wouldn't call it horrifying.
I'd call it horrifying. Being alone with one person being alone with their thoughts is bad enough.
Well,
but at the same time, it's like,
well, that's you, Joey. You have a
But I'm talking about, like, think of
problem
an
with
echo
your
chamber.
own thoughts.
think of an echo chamber, like one of those soundproof rooms that they put
Those
people
are
in.
cool.
Any normal person lasted about 45 minutes before they started having hallucinations and going a little cuckoo because soundproof room and all that. Like, I'm not saying this is the exact response, but I'm just simply saying, put yourself in those shoes for a while. Just, there is nothing left for you. You're just you're basically in the mind of a dead body inside a power suit, just waiting to die. Congratulations, you won. If anything, I find that more horrifying. If I find it horrifying in the fact that altruism is a bitch.
You really have to bring that theology into it, don't you?
Ashura's Wrath. Ashura's
Don't
Wrath.
care.
My fans will back me on this one. Ashura's Wrath. Altruism is for stupid people. Ask Gilgamesh.
Ask Luke.
Shut up, nerd.
And anyway, look, I get it. I understand. I'm not an idiot. I understand the quote unquote horror of it all, but it doesn't apply to everyone. It really doesn't. Not everybody's gonna find the idea of complete isolation horrifying. Like myself.
And just because you don't find a problem with it doesn't mean it's not a problem for some other people.
No, that's true. That's true. But existentialism isn't necessarily the most horrifying thing out there, regardless of what you may say.
I say it.
Which is why I said regardless
Subjective.
of what you may say.
I say it.
It's subjective. Yes, exactly, Tuck. But
No,
the idea...
Lovecraft said that's the greatest fear ever. I trust him.
Yeah, well, you would probably like to suck him off, wouldn't you?
No.
No, he'd probably like to fuck his mother.
No.
Because that's what Freud preaches.
Shut up with Freud, okay? Listen, hold on one second.
Fuck
Keep
your
going.
phone, by
Just
the
keep the
way.
conversation going.
But what I was about to
ruining
say...
this podcast.
Yeah, god damn it. But what I was about to say was, going back to Silent Hill 2, he tried to Soma is a very linear story. It's more explaining the horrors of, existential crises. But Silent Hill 2 is as we've talked about, is a very personal story. It really is a very personal story, because it without even asking you these questions, without even telling you what to do, it's literally getting into your mind. It's literally just making you see and experience things that you could see and experience in everyday life. Depression, isolation, just the fear of the unknown, a seemingly normal location hiding dark secrets, and then at the end of it all, because the entire game is designed this way, it will come up with these different endings depending on how you've behaved, like what you've killed, how you've treated Mary, what you've done, or Maria, I guess. What else you've done through the game, how fast you went through the game, how long you've lingered on specific items. It tailors itself and again, few other games actually do this, but it tailors itself in such a way that even if it's a linear story, the way you act in the game itself creates different paths, different interpretations, and different ways of how it could be personal to you. Like for me, when I went through the game, I got the in-water ending, but it's mostly because I ended up killing a lot of fucking enemies.
That's usually like it's also debated to be the actual canon ending of the game as well.
The suicide ending, yeah. But at the same time, and I only realized this when I looked it up. I like to read the descriptions of items and have a look at them for long periods of time, and apparently looking at the knife and the letter often, it also gets you that ending. Yeah, but again, just because it was it was designed in a way where it would be very personal to you depending on how you've acted. Another game that does this, debatably, would be the recent game Undertale. Though not in a horror aspect, it still does. It's more of a just a straight up RPG aspect, asking you how would you behave in this sort of situation? How would you as a person or a player behave in this situation. It expects you to behave like a player,
but also
of
think
any
like a
kind of
human
player.
being at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really well. And again, it's a very linear story, but it's all dependent on the player's actions itself. And honestly, a lot of people compare it to like compare that game to like freaking Earthbound or something like that.
Because I'm
And I
fairly
can
certain that's what Undertale was going for in the first place, like an Earthbound feel.
But honestly, when I play the game, despite its 2D and simplistic look, I get a very Silent Hill and Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne feel to it. For those of you who don't know, Nocturne is a
Nocturne is probably
game.
one of the greatest games Atlas has ever made, ever.
Yeah, it is. With one of the most powerful protagonists in their
The
lineup.
entire series, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And probably the only time you'll ever get to play as someone that powerful. But anyway, like when I played it, I maybe this helps because I never really grew up with a Super Nintendo and never played Earthbound. But yeah, when I played Undertale, I felt like, this feels like Nocturne. Going through a strange, like a kid going through a strange world that you don't understand, trying to find your way out, and depending on your choices and actions, will shape the, the destination at hand. Because but again, going back to the whole Silent Hill thing, it's more emphasized on the actions you take that will create your ending rather than the people, the individuals that you talk to. And and as with Silent Hill, is more emphasized on the interaction with the environment rather than just the NPCs. The
I'd like to take a moment to talk about these type of games polar opposite. Hi, my name is Dark Souls. I'm one of the greatest games ever, where everything you do basically doesn't fucking matter in the end.
No, that's true, but when it comes to that kind of a game, it's built around that idea. But I think that's its whole shtick. No matter what you do,
no matter what you do, nothing matters.
It's only going to continue a cycle.
Everyone and everything is lying to you all the time.
And it's only going to perpetuate a cycle that will probably never end.
Unless Dark Souls 3 says anything about it.
Unless start. But then again, that would just probably end up creating a new cycle, because Dark Souls started with, the Age of Ash and Grey.
And then it went to the Age of Fire. Then the Age of Dark, and then it's been like a continuous cycle of Fire and Dark for the past who knows how many years.
And chances are Dark Souls 3 is gonna
be another Age of Ancients.
Yeah, so it might just create a brand new cycle in order to destroy the old one. An interesting concept, but we're back to square one. Shit. But its storytelling is very different. It's incredibly linear, it's incredibly open-ended, but despite its open-endedness, your actions really don't influence it. You're just kind of the avatar walking through the world it's in, and no matter what who you influence, no matter what you do, no matter who you save, who you kill, eventually it's just gonna all be forgotten and swept away.
And even the worst thing about like talking to anybody, like trying to be like a source of comfort to anybody, they just end up dying either way. It just makes you feel like a jerk just for trying to be there for them.
Like when you're there with Sigmire, you constantly save his life, and he's always constantly trying to help you, but every time you help him, it just drags him further and further into the muck that is his quest.
He wants to be known as a hero, but he keeps being saved by this person.
This one asshole that shows up at the inopportune time. And
like, hey man, just let me do this. Just fuck you.
And you won't and you won't even know that because you'll talk to the guy and he'll never say a
He's
bad
always
thing
just
about you.
so like jolly. He's never like showing. He's never gonna say like up front like stop saving me because he is great. While he does want to say that, he's still grateful for you helping him.
And he'll even give you stuff for being such a nice guy.
Yeah.
But in the end, when you do save him constantly and you meet his daughter Sigland, it's Sigland, right?
Yeah, Sigland.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. It's been a while since I've played that through that storyline. When you just end up finding him and find her in Ash Lake, mourning over the fact that she had to execute her father, and that's depressing as fuck.
And then your people experience who fucking golf club her into the ocean right next to her.
Fucking
Dickhead.
There's some people that do that, that's for sure. God damn. And then there's, like... Again, it's a very different type of storytelling, being open-ended, but at the same time having no real consequence against the overall plot.
Because either way, the cycles are just going to repeat themselves over and over.
No matter what side you choose, the dark or the light, it's just going to keep going.
It's like, oh, you decided to prolong the Age of Fire? Well, it's going to fade either way, so it doesn't matter. You decide to become Lord of Dark? Well, the Age of Fire is going to start again anyway.
Yeah.
Nothing matters.
But both types of storytelling, the linear storytelling and open-ended storytelling, they both have their places, and depending on who has them, or depending on who writes them, they can be still written well if you can put the gameplay, or have the gameplay basically built around it. Dark Souls works because, like, it despite the fact that, it's the gameplay itself is built around the fact that, everything you do is of little consequence in the grand scheme of things. In fact, everything that happens to you is of little consequence to you in the grand scheme of things, because you can't die. No matter what you do, no matter what kind of monsters are thrown at you, no matter what kind of challenges you face, you will always come back as if it was no consequence. It's just a perpetual cycle until, well, the end credits. And it works for Dark Souls. Again, because they knew how to, do the gameplay along with the story. And then going back to Undertale, again, very linear story, but its gameplay is what gets it to, make the story work so well. I mean, a lot of people can make a dime a dozen game or stories where it's like just get from point A to point B, and you're just basically driving your character along those points. And those games are fun, but they're not necessarily the great. The games aren't really designed to, complement the story as they are to drive the story. If you guys can get what I mean.
Just like DMC back.
Oh, God, no. Well, that's a whole different topic. We'll get into later. Okay.
It's the greatest horror.
Don't
Right now, please.
Please don't. No more cancer.
But
please.
Virgil's downfall is a riveting
No,
story.
Joey, we're done with this.
No,
Joey,
Joe.
it's over. We're done with this.
Please.
Your Let's Play's over. We're done with
Damn it,
this.
no more. Do we need to send you to rehab?
Probably.
Oh God.
Oh God. I don't want to hear
Anyway.
Like,
But anyway,
after all the drinking I did from that, but
fucking hell. But yeah, to sum up, it really all depends on who's telling the story and how the gameplay can kind of complement it. So yeah, that's all I really have to say.
what game were you talking about?
We're talking about
we were just
Souls.
talking about various games and how they can complement the story that is written for them. We were talking about Silent Hill, which kind of segued into this discussion.
Oh yeah, okay, but You know,
We're done
you know, I
Soma.
think-
We're done talking about
No,
Soma.
no, no,
We're
no, no,
moving
no,
on.
no. Oh, can you shut the fuck up, you altruist? Not you, Tuck. I understand you. You're a
This
cool
isn't
dude.
about altruism,
Shut up. This isn't about
you
logic.
nihilist.
I
Hey, if
love
anything,
the Tales series, but the only person who actually plays the Tales series beside me is not in this call right now.
hey, I've been playing him.
Well, you only played. You're not even finished with Zillia yet, so
Yeah, I'm still playing
Sorry,
it. though.
Tuck. I hear those games are good, but I have a backlog of other games that I still need to play.
Are you really
Joey and I
kidding
would
me
be
with
talking
this?
about
Hold
Zillia
up.
if you'd fucking finish it already.
Yeah, just you know what? Pick another horror game real quick. I've got a message. Are you fucking?
Ah, Joey.
He's not going to be in this call very much.
This is supposed to
he?
be his thing. God damn it. This is supposed to be his channel.
He doesn't learn to turn off his phone. I mean, I get it. He needs his phone to talk to his
His boss, but
his
it's like
boss and
it's
stuff,
fucking
but-
2:30 in the morning for him right now.
It's 2:30 in the morning. His boss doesn't need to call. Just turn off the phone for at least like an hour or two. He'll get the messages later.
God.
I mean, that's what I'd do. If my boss would call it to him, he doesn't. He just calls.
My
in the
bosses
afternoon.
don't
It
call me
doesn't
in
matter.
because we have too many people
But-
working on my job. Also, never work at McDonald's, people. McDonald's sucks.
Here, and
one
I
of the
don't
worst
even have to
jobs
work
ever.
there to know that.
It's one of
Jesus,
the worst jobs ever. It pays well. That's the only reason I'm still there.
pays well, really?
It pays. Really, my last paycheck was $500.
Okay, that's
That's
an
good.
average
That's good
pay,
for
but
like
okay.
someone who's 19 years old.
Oh yeah, fair. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But But yeah, I guess segueing from styles of storytelling. What's your favorite story, Tuck? I gotta ask that.
Well, my favorite story would be Zillia 2, but again, Joey's in this call.
Okay, let's go with the second favorite, preferably not from the Tales series.
Tokyo Ghoul is currently reading that. Fuck. God damn it, Joey, you fucking procrastinator. God, you can't talk about anything.
Damn it.
Fucking dick.
Oh Jesus. Oh, speaking of storytelling, did you ever get a chance to take a look at the Legacy of Kain series yet?
Oh, not really. I only saw that video about Soul Reaper's intro.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was pretty okay. At least, like, for like an establishing what the plot is, it's pretty good.
But well, again, you would have to play the game in order to get the real impact of what's going on there.
Like, I saw gameplay of the original Legacy of Kain, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Well, this is really old.
It is in 1996. It's very Zelda-esque. It's not a bad game. I've got it.
I mean, it just reeks of 90s voice acting, you know, not the best.
Well, no, actually, the voice acting, well, the voice quality, the actual sound is not the best, but the voice acting, it's actually pretty good. It is very, like, mid-90s edge, but they do take it seriously, they do take it to heart, and it does well during some of the actual story elements of the game. And there will be a lot of story elements in the game. It only kind of falters when it gets to those to the CG cutscenes, which thankfully are few and far between. Mostly because during that era, the CG wasn't that great.
Well, because CG was still being established at that point.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Like, we didn't start
but,
getting
yeah.
CG right until, like, mid-2000s, I think?
No. You saw that that intro to Soul Reaver.
No, so it's like early 2000s then.
That was 1999.
Oh, so, yeah.
Maybe even
Literally,
a little earlier
literally
than
just,
that.
like, scraping 2000s.
Yeah. But yeah, the actual voice acting in the early game, the first game, is good. You just have to really get past the cheesy CG that is peppered throughout the first game, and the kind of not didn't age very well sound quality of the first game. Later games do way better when it comes to the actual sound quality and CG cutscenes and stuff like that. With the exception of Blood Omen 2 being probably the cheesiest of the 5 games, but you know, that's neither here nor there. I still enjoy it, even though it's kind of the black sheep of the series. But anyway, sorry for going on that tangent.
No, don't worry about it. Well, it took me about 19 years of my life, but I'm finally starting to indulge myself in the Final Fantasy series.
I still haven't. I don't have a single entry in the Final Fantasy series at all,
Like,
in my collection.
I've been playing I started playing the Tales series.
Well,
I started the Tales series with Zillia, and then started playing Tales series from, all over the fucking, spectrum, from, all the way back to 2004 with Symphonia. Also, Symphonia's bad. I hate Symphonia.
Actually, what I said isn't exactly true. I do have 2 games from the Final Fantasy series. Only 2. Dissidia and Crisis Core. That's it.
Crisis Core is really
That's
good.
all I...
I've
Yeah, I know. I've
Crisis
played
Core
it.
well, of course, it's an inevitable death story. Zack is nowhere to
but-
be seen in Final Fantasy VII, so of course he's gonna die, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Welcome to 2016, where that shit is already.
I think my entry into the
19,
Final Fantasy
15 years old.
series started with 7 when I was 8 years old, and
Of course.
and tiny little JoJo was playing with my cousin, and we would always play Final Fantasy 7, and I was more of an observer at the time because I really didn't get hands-on into games until I was 9 years old. And
Now, I'm not gonna say, sorry, I'm.
I was trying to
story here.
transition because there
Go
was
ahead.
more entries. It's
Go ahead.
And then my cousin,
Sorry.
she was part of that family that, again, I didn't get any of the cool consoles till later. I think my
At least
first...
you can actually relate with your family.
Oh, good point.
I come from a family of stereotypical black people, so we don't really have any interests.
I would make some jokes there, but me being Mexican, I can't. But
and
you
I'm
know,
not
the,
that funny, so.
the sad thing about my family is we do adhere to the stereotypes Mexicans usually are founded in, and no, I don't take offense, because if you say, hey, you're probably standing out there on the corner of Home Depot. Once I did, but now I work at Home Depot. I'm moving up on the Mexican stepladder. Now I work for money instead of food. Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to your Final Fantasy story.
But yeah, after that, I was introduced to Final Fantasy VIII. That of which I never really
That of which
got
I just
to
kind of forgot.
Guess we all just kind of
Forgot.
Now,
Well,
Now,
Final Fantasy VIII was an introduction to me because it's oh wow, this all looks kind of cool. I like the story. Whatever story I did find.
Leon, Squall somehow being
I
even
didn't
more of
know
a
much
downer
of the
than
story
Cloud
at the
was.
time. I didn't know much of the story at the time. Okay, I was still
Nobody knows what no kid knows what a good story is.
I still didn't understand most of it. And I think the coolest thing. I think the coolest thing was giant cactar with a mustache who could insta kill your whole party. But after that, I skipped over 9. I didn't look too much into it, but I'm kind of sad I didn't, because apparently 9 was phenomenal.
Yeah, 9 was phenomenal.
I heard
the
a lot of
fact
good
that Bryce
things about
Palmer was the main character.
He does some good voice acting, and every 1 out of 10 times he'll be good. 1 out of 10 times.
That's not
Because
a good shot.
it's not. It's really not. If you know what? Let's want something really horrifying. Caesar's English voice from JoJo's.
No,
Just
Vader Sim was in
that-
this.
Put that right there.
Jojo! This is the last of my hormone! Take it from me! Take it from me! Destroy us all! Destroy us all! Destroy us all! Take it from me!
And then I was introduced to Final Fantasy X, and this is me being the stereotypical jockey douche self I was when I was what, 14. So I was just like saying, like, it's about Yuna and Tidus and all that. And I was like, oh, it's like a really overrated
this is
love
gay as
story.
hell.
Exactly. This is gay.
When in reality it's about a whale trying to destroy the universe.
He was a whale once.
Whale. Also, Jack's a dickhead.
That actually turns out to be the main character's father.
And then, yeah, so after that, I didn't really touch up on Final Fantasy. I heard of 11, I thought, cool, bunny check.
To be honest, I don't hear any about the Final Fantasy series outside of 7, 8, and like 13 and 10. Because at this point where I honestly didn't think the other games actually existed.
And 6.
Then I played Final Fantasy Dissidia. I absolutely loved it. I loved everything about it. It's like, you know what? I need to go back and play some other Final Fantasies. I went out and bought Final Fantasy IV for the Nintendo DS. Boy, did that game really... That game had an amazing story. Also, Yuri Lowenthal is the main character. A conflicted main character, as usual.
Furion? Wait, no, Furion's drawing on Bosch.
No, Furion was from Final Fantasy II.
Yeah,
Cecil.
Yeah, Cecil.
Final Fantasy IV kicks you in the nuts from the get-go when it's just like, okay, you see, you've been doing assignments for the Baron. Yeah, you're actually the bad guy, Cecil. He's like all these, like, destroying villages and shit. You thought you're doing it for a better cause. No, you're kind of a scumbag. And so, yeah. And, again, Final Fantasy IV, amazing game. Pretty difficult, but I love it. It's still up there with my absolute favorite. Like, it stands above Final Fantasy VII in my honest opinion. And then there's Final Fantasy VI. I played a little bit of it, but personally, I say Kefka and Sephiroth are both rather overrated. Sephiroth, he is a kind of a complex villain, in that his backstory is holy Jesus.
Sephiroth's a dickhead because this is his mom.
His mom had space cancer, and then they cloned her when she had space cancer and embedded it into him. And that's how everybody got geostigma, space cancer. Like, literally, like, the cancer doesn't leave the channel. And Kefka, again, I like Kefka. As Dave Wittenberg does an amazing job for Kefka in Dissidia, and as a character, I think he's fine. My biggest problem is
he has the ability to literally just make the world. But he doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, he's Teddy. That's one thing you forget, Wrath. He's actually voiced by Teddy from Persona.
Yeah, you told me that. Well, the original version of
not
Persona
Sam Riegel, who is for Golden and everything else.
Sam Riegel was an okay Teddy. I
like
Dave
him. I don't know.
But we're all in agreement
Sam
that
Riegel's version.
Aaron Fitzgerald is way better than Tracer Rooney for Chie.
Yeah, new Chie voice is better. If anything, I'm slowly leaning towards Chie for Best Girl, even though I do like Naoto a bit more.
Don't pander to me, you piece of shit.
What? I do like Naoto.
Don't pander to me.
Fine, Kanji's Best Girl. Shut up.
Well, we know you're on both sides of the team. We get it.
Regardless, and then again, my biggest problem with Kefka is like he even then still is overrated because he is kind of an archetype for a villain. That doesn't make him bad, but he gets boring once he gets all this power. Like, he's like Scar, does all this amazing, brilliant bastard scheming, and then at the end of it all, he destroys the world. And this is where I would put Spirits in here and asking, what does destroy the world mean? Because I think the world
now,
still...
I think you lost everybody that is listening to this podcast. You should have said Scar from Lion King. He gets the power.
Everybody knows who Scar from Lion King is. That's the thing.
Yeah, but nobody knows about your story yet. We're
not going to tell anybody about that. Shut your mouth. I'll bleep it out. Regardless. Yeah, Scar from Lion King. Yeah, he was an amazing, cunning, clever son of a gun who chewed the scenery, literally at times. And then, the moment he attained power, it's just, okay, when's the good guy gonna show up and kick your ass? You're
let
really...
everything fall to shit.
Now, out! I just want to put on my new eyeliner.
Pretty much. Yeah, so that was my experience with the Final Fantasy series. I fell in love with a lot of the shit in there.
Mine's actually rather limited. Like as I've said, I only have really two
Better break that limit.
Games in the... Joey. Joey! God damn it. I get the joke, but only because it's a goddamn meme. Anyway, I only have 2 games in my decent-sized library, unfortunately. when it came to Final Fantasy, I think my first experience with it was when I played Final Fantasy VI for about a day. I had this video store called Video Update. They rented out obviously movies, but they also rented out a bunch of games, including PS1 games. There were actually quite a few Final Fantasy games available for me to pick up.
13 exactly.
At the time, no, there weren't 13 games. Shut up. Anyway,
Final Fantasy 13 is just the worst thing ever.
I was waiting for it. Thank you, Tuck.
I'm glad
It's got
I
3
haven't.
games. Why? Nobody likes Final Fantasy 13.
I'm glad I
Nobody.
never played those games. Honestly,
You're lucky. It's Hallway Simulator.
Nobody likes Final Fantasy
Anyway.
13.
Continuing on with Wrath.
The only thing that I heard good about Final Fantasy 13 is the one encounter with the Tonberry. That's all. That's what I've heard is the only good thing about that game.
The only good thing.
Anyway, going back to my experience, at the video store there was a decent selection of Final Fantasy games. I was very new to the PlayStation at the time, so I decided I didn't want to play Final Fantasy VII because it didn't really interest me that much. But I saw the Final Fantasy Anthology, which had, I think, 5, 6, and Tactics, and I wanted to check what it was all about. I played a little bit of 5, thought it was all right. Played a little bit of 6. I liked it, but it didn't bring me back to rent the game again. After that, I decided to have a look at Final Fantasy VIII. I thought, this looks interesting. Picked it up, played it for a while, confused the hell out of me, and then I didn't play it again.
We just forgot.
No, it's not that I didn't forget it. I remember everything I did it, but I did in the game. But I guess I got to this one roadblock where you fight this red demonic looking thing, and you're with your teacher, and I don't know. I couldn't get past that red demonic thing, and I was like, you know what, fuck this, and I stopped playing the game.
Rage quit.
Again, I wasn't used to RPGs. That was literally my first experience with a proper JRPG. My later experience would be Legend of Dragoon, which is a fucking incredible game.
I need to get that game. I hope my
You
cousin still
do.
has it. But
You do.
no, speaking of proper games, considering we were like the original discussions about horror, but apparently this train has not only gone off the rails, but it has bombarded through a kindergarten at this point.
Well, that's the point of a podcast. We're changing topics.
Yeah, speaking of like a proper game that actually did horror right and still
Oh,
scares
back
the
to
living
horror.
bejesus
God damn it.
out of me, Devil May Cry 1.
Okay, now that's kind of horror, but
It's kind
mostly
it's more
mostly because
empowering horror.
it's mostly because its connection to Resident Evil. For
Oh,
those
really?
Of
Is
you who
that
don't know,
why you guys think it's a horror game? I thought it was a horror game because of that water level.
Oh god, please no. That guy.
Guys,
I hope the guy who
guys.
suggested that got punched. No, let him keep his job, but punch him.
I think it was Kamiya.
Oh my god.
I
Kamiya,
love you, Kamiya.
but can you get like punched?
Now, to counteract that water level, I thought the on-rail shooter level was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that was just
Final
brilliant.
boss was phenomenal. Love
But
it.
going back to I know
disagree.
you don't. It's okay, Tuck. It's okay. We understand. It's a very different part of the game. It comes out of nowhere, and it is tough as balls. I get it. It's not for everyone. I like it because I'm actually into vertical and horizontal shooters. It was part of my library when I was a little kid stuck in an apartment with my my mom and sister.
I like it because Virgil
So
was in it.
I liked it. So I liked it. But yeah, its atmosphere was so well done, despite it being
its
a
atmosphere,
very
like,
despite it being a very early PS2 game. Like this came out like November 2001.
That was like within
This
like
is
the
early
first or second year of PlayStation 2, right?
Yeah, the second year. I think the PlayStation actually came out at the very end of 1999, with maybe the English release being either that or early 2000s, something like that. But yeah, this is like end of the second year probably of the PlayStation. It's still early shit, and it was phenomenal.
Like, the PlayStation 2 is basically what sparked my love for video games. Cause like back when I was just a little youngster tuck, like on Christmas Day of like I think 2001, my brother unwrapped his PS2, and my first video game ever was reluctantly Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
You lucky son of a gun.
I was never a big fan of the Grand Theft Auto.
Neither am
series,
I,
so
but
can
hey,
figure-
it still has its charm.
I will play Grand Theft Auto, but it'll only be like 2 hours of me blowing everything up and causing problems with the police.
I think the closest thing I can get to a Rockstar Grand Theft Auto game, and specifically by Rockstar, would have to be Bully.
No, you would have to play Saints Row.
Bully's just
Saints
like
Row,
Bully's
No,
just
no,
like a toned
Rockstar.
down. Bully's like a toned down Grand
Oh,
Theft
okay,
Auto.
Rockstar, yeah.
Yeah, Bully's probably the closest I would get to that.
The problem, my problem with Grand Theft Auto is whenever parents saw me play it at like my friend's house, they looked at the way I played it and immediately went to the conclusion that this game really is a murder simulator.
Oh,
For
they were
good
that,
reason.
those
This game kind of is like that.
Well, yes and
Like
no.
I probably spurred so many PTA meetings just with the way I played a video game.
But yeah. Anyway, going back to your love for gaming.
Devil May Cry 1.
No. Your love for gaming, Tuck.
Oh yeah, his like how it started with Vice City.
Sorry, Vice City. And then, like, to a very unhealthy, compulsive degree, I just can't pull myself away from video games. Like, it's been like that since I was, like, 6 years old.
Yeah.
Video games are, like, a heavy part of my life, and I'll probably die with a controller in my hand, more than likely.
I've got just about 300 games in my collection. You fucking tell me.
Trumps me.
And
No,
then
seriously,
around 2009, one of my favorite video games came out, and I'm fairly sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But Assassin's Creed 2 came out that year, and that's what spawned my love for the Assassin's Creed series for like a good 2-3 years.
And then
Until
Assassin's
Creed 3
Assassin's Creed 3
right?
came
Yeah,
out.
then 3 came out. I was like, oh, this is shit. And then 4 came out. Like, this is even more shit. And this
Put
kid,
the nail in the Cherokee themed coffin.
well, no,
Yeah,
not even 3 was. Not even 3 was the start of the shit.
Revelations.
Revelation was the start of this series going to absolute shit.
Which is rather saddening.
It's
because I
weird
was
Revelations
so-
is
I heard
Ezio's class
Brotherhood
game.
was-
Ezio's the most well-written character of any fucking protagonist in the entire
I was
series.
so hyped for Revelations when I kept sawing that trailer when like it had the music by Woodkid. That song Iron was playing, and you remember that trailer, right? Where he kept seeing glimpses of Altair.
Yeah,
before
yeah, I
he
thought
get
that
in
was kinda
fights, and It was
cool.
about to hang him and all that shit. It's like, wait, you're putting an assassin at the end of a plank of wood? Oh man, this is gonna end horribly for you guys. I just saw an eagle pass by.
And then,
You're fucked.
Assassin's Creed's freaking like menu music when you first start off the game is just so foreboding and sad. Like this is
Yeah,
the end
it
of
was-
like this is the end of something, and it knows it.
No, that's true because like I was for a while, at least until I'll be honest. I played Assassin's Creed 1. I only finished it like I think a couple of years ago because I take a very long time to beat open world games. But I ended up buying Assassin's Creed 2. Played it for quite a while, but I didn't really get back to it because I don't know, other games caught my attention. Other games wanted, but yeah, like seeing Assassin's Creed being shoveled in every year or so kind of really made me go, who
Like
cares?
it's basically Ubisoft's Call of Duty. That's its problem. It wasn't like that. I mean,
Pretty
they
much.
used to take their time with this game series. 'Cause
Yeah.
it took 2 to 3
what I
years
loved most
for,
about
for
Assassin's Creed 2 though?
yeah.
Was those puzzles. Those puzzles
Yeah.
that I actively seeked out and did them by myself. Because you want to know, like, Assassin's Creed 2 is one of the best examples of hidden puzzles and then the incentive for wanting to do them on your own. Because not only does it make you feel a bit smarter, you're like, oh hey, I actually know some of this. It also, it rewards you at the very end when you solve all those puzzles and you get that clip of Adam and Eve running away with the apple. Because to me, that was mind-blowing.
Dumb ending, but it was still a great journey.
I stopped at Brotherhood, and I need to play Revelation.
Brotherhood was okay. It wasn't like on par. It was nowhere near
improved
as on par
combat.
with 2.
Improved combat.
Yeah. It improved combat
But,
by also making combat incredibly fucking easy.
Yeah.
Like in
but
Assassin's
I will
Creed
say,
1.
I probably should
Assassin's
sit
Creed 1
down
was
and
fucking
play.
annoying with its combat, really.
It was easy for me.
It was
Honestly,
annoying to me.
all I had to do was parry everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot in Assassin's Creed 1 you couldn't get in the water.
Yeah, you
If
couldn't
if
swim in
fell in
Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah.
If you fell in the water, apparently you melted like cotton candy.
You become fucking Tony Rossetti from Vice City.
It's like Desmond's like that raccoon that like tried to dip his cotton candy in the water. Like, what's going on? My memories.
Oh dear Christ. But yeah, like another thing that I have to mention about Assassin's Creed 2, the environments were fantastic.
They were.
Which is why Assassin's Creed 3, in my opinion, kind of failed, because like the gigantic cities of Italy and Rome.
And here's
Perfect
the thing.
Assassin's
place
Creed 2
for parkour.
felt like grand. It was big.
Here's the thing. This is why it struck a chord with me so hard. Was prior to playing Assassin's Creed 2, I went on a school trip to Italy and Rome, and I got to see these places firsthand, and it's something that's burned into my mind forever. Then I play the game and I'm like, it's almost exactly like my trip, except I'm climbing these goddamn walls.
Except you're not getting pickpocketed by a handsome blonde kid.
Never been pickpocketed. I didn't see Giorno there, unfortunately. I would shake his hand if he were there.
Oh you'd shake his hand and then he'd rob you for everything you got, because Giorno isn't exactly the moral epitome of isn't exactly like, the highest of moral standards.
Don't care, he's charismatic as fuck.
Just like his father. But no,
But yeah, like
yeah,
again, my
go ahead.
like just being playing the game and then seeing these sites and interacting with them on such a level that I couldn't do as a tourist just made me lose my mind, honestly. Like it's one of the reasons why I really love the game, and I probably won't get rid of it anytime soon. Even if it doesn't make my top 20 list, it's still a game that kind of holds a piece of my heart, honestly.
random thought, you know what they should have did in Assassin's Creed 2? Like, this is just like a random thought, if only for like, shits and giggles. You know how in Metal Gear Solid 2, if you stepped on bird shit, you just fall flat on your ass? that really should have been a
Pigeon
feature
shit.
in Assassin. There really should have been
Yeah,
a
like
feature
half the drop,
in
half the fleet of faith points have bird shit on them.
I know, that would have
And
been so
you
hilarious.
slip,
Like Ezio like
Fall,
slips, hits his
crack your head on the side of some wall of desynchronization.
I can't tell you how much I hated bird shit in Metal Gear Solid 2, because I was already like traversing really, really like nerve-wracking points. It's like, okay, better make a whip. God dang
In
it.
that first area where you see the bird shit, honestly, I was an immature little kid back then. So when I realized that could happen, I was purposely running on the bird shit. I wanted to see Raiden fall on his ass like a dumbass, and laugh and laugh.
And then Metal
and then-
Gear Rising happened,
Another
and
thing
then
about
Raiden's
Metal
like,
Gear
no one
Solid
will
2 is
laugh
that
at
you
me.
can fucking ninja flip still, like all this shit, but you can't hold on to walls because my dick.
Oh yeah, that part.
But there was another thing that I used to do in Metal Gear Solid 2 when it came to bird shit, and this also highlights how much of an immature kid I was. When the enemies started appearing in that first area, I would knock them out with the M9, put them to sleep, and then I would purposely drag them over to the bird shit and lay them down there.
So he just wakes up and
I just piled bodies there on top of the fucking bird shit and laughed my ass off.
you are an immature child. I've done worse, because anybody who's played Metal Gear Online will know what I'm talking about. Metal Gear Online, there are certain segments where like like Team Deathmatch, and there are some area in like team deathmatch or team sneaking where if you get knocked out, you can't wake yourself up in in 1 minute. You actually have to have somebody come over and wake you up. One of my favorite disrespectful things I ever did on Team Sneak was someone randomly got picked to be Snake while Red and Blue tried to duke it out and kill Snake 3 times while they were still trying to kill each other. It was like a big clusterfuck. I love it. And I randomly got picked to be Snake. I knocked one guy out, collected his dog tag, and then, being the asshole I am, I think you've seen it in Metal Gear Solid 4, picked the soldier up, dragged him over in front of me, and started backing to a wall over and over, and it looked just like I was just like bumfucking him over and over. It's the most disrespectful thing because the guy was in the chat going, "What are you doing? Stop!"
It's basically that game's version of a teabag.
It pretty much is.
Aside from the actual teabag.
Like the guy was even being a good sport about it because it's like the chat thing was just filled with, "Oh my god, this is awful."
Speaking of like game series that have a multiplayer that's more of stealth based, I loved the hell out of Brotherhood's multiplayer.
Except when you had to get the knights.
Oh god, Knights. The multiplayer was just so good. And then again, with the rest of the series, the multiplayer for after Brotherhood got progressively more and more terrible because Assassin's Creed got progressively more and more terrible.
You know, I have Brotherhood, but I've never actually played the
multiplayer. Was good. It's the most balanced one out of like all of them, basically.
Oh my god, I got Brotherhood as well. One day, like us three should try try multiplayer in Brotherhood.
We gotta try
it. But it's a shame because the community on multiplayer on the Brothers multiplayer is now completely dead. They're all in the newest game, which I don't fucking know. I think it's Syndicate. Assassin's Creed Syndicate
again,
probably. Yeah.
It's Rogue, I think. It's Syndicate and Rogue, apparently.
Yeah, Rogue is not for the last gen. Syndicate is Unity is for the next gen, and Syndicate is for the next gen.
Unity for the
Unity
next
sucks.
gen.
Unity had so many problems when it first came. Holy shit!
Unity was a fear fest.
But yeah, as Joey was saying before, yeah, you, Joey, and myself should probably play a little Brotherhood multiplayer one of these days.
I'm either going to be the
what it's like.
I'm either going to be the barber or the jester.
The Harlequin is I don't think he's not. No, the Heliquin is the one that's from Uclay points, not the Harlequin. The Harlequin's actually free.
Ah, sweet.
But yeah, still, I'd like to try it out.
I would too.
But going back to
another funny story about that, I was like basically undefeated on a ranked for a long ass time in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and then miraculously I ran into one of the most famous fucking players on that game, Rainey. She kicked my ass.
She did?
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
Not too bad because it's Rainey. Rainey's good.
It's like losing to Daigo Umehara.
What is there to be ashamed about? You lost one of the best players of the game.
Understandable. And I was like going back to Devil May Cry 1, the horror ambience as it was going on.
Yeah.
As much as I like, again, Devil May.
You will love Devil May Cry 3 to death, but
yeah, exactly. I will love Devil May Cry 3 to death. I have 3 copies of the game.
I've got 2 copies.
Yeah, because I bought the original. I bought the original like release version.
I don't have my original vanilla version anymore, unfortunately.
I can send you a copy. It's only 10. Yeah, they sell that shit here by the dozen. That thing's $10.
Sure, if you want.
But yeah, I had
Just
vanilla, I had special edition, and I had the HD. Yeah, I really love Devil May Cry 3, but yeah, Devil May Cry 1, it has this ambience to it. It's just like, yeah, the fights are intense, but not only are the fights are intense, your heart's kind of pounding because Devil May Cry 1.
It's exciting.
Devil May Cry 1 is at a difficulty that Kamiya prides himself on, as in, you can die in a matter of hits. And
then play Dante Must Die mode on that game.
Oh, kill yourself.
There's a feature on that mode in that game that never made it into any other game after that.
What was it?
It's called Do or Die.
What the hell?
It's okay, allow me to explain how this works. Alright, in Dante Must Die mode, enemies can trigger. You know that, right?
Yes.
Now, In rooms that have do or die, you get a timer in the corner of the screen. This can be anywhere between 20 seconds or 2 minutes, okay? Now, in these rooms, and I think they're random, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't played too much of Dante Must Die mode on my older PS2 copy of the game. But in Do or Die, basically, if that timer runs out, all of the enemies in that area trigger at once.
Oh, well, that's awful.
All of them. Which means if you didn't kill a single one, and you let that thing run out, all of those enemies will trigger, and any enemy that spawns in that area, that has yet to spawn in that area, will come in triggered. So
Thanks, game.
It's basically race to not get yourself fucked.
That's whoever designed
It's
game was
brilliant,
designed-
but evil.
Exactly. It's just designed to give person pre-onset hypertension.
Okay, we got a timer. What the hell does that do? You're not really told about how Do or Die works. You just kind of experience it. Like you enter a room, you see a timer in the corner, and you're like, huh, what does that do? You don't kill all the enemies in the area. There's 3 puppets in front of you. They haven't triggered yet because you've probably learned about how demons trigger in Dante Must Die mode at this point. And they haven't triggered yet. The timer goes off. They all trigger at once. And then you're like, oh.
I remember playing Dante Must Die and Devil May Cry 3. Considerably difficult.
Yeah,
Considerably
yeah.
difficult. But
I don't.
I ain't fighting Virgil on Dante Must Die.
But yeah, it's one of those modes that never carried on to any other any other version of the game. But
For good
it is
reason.
Probably one of it's probably one of those modes that should have. It's one of those things that probably should have added to been part of the later games as an extra feature or something like that you could turn on and off or something like that. Because it was
Should have made sense of Devil May Cry 2.
because it is brilliant in its design, because it does add that extra layer of tension, because you suddenly see a timer and you're like, oh shit, they're gonna all go off in a second here.
Now, when you say extra layer of tension, I was just immediately imagining a 7-layer cake. It's okay, we've got marble, we've got vanilla, we got chocolate, we've got
God damn
a
it, Joey,
big old
I'm the
layer
big
of
eater here,
marshmallow
not
frosting.
you. Stop it. Stop thinking about food.
We've got a big old marshmallow layer of frosting. It's how much higher can we stack? Put another stack of cake on it.
But yeah, there are.
Jesus, it sounds horrible.
But yeah, Devil May Cry 1 was just designed really, really well, aside from the underwater segments.
Because again, I will say this: I love Devil May Cry 3, but as I was saying before, the atmosphere in Devil May Cry 1 was ingenious. Everything had you on edge, and if anything, the music.
Everything had so much point to it.
Yeah, but not even that. But as I was saying, compare it to Tim and Negru. Don't get me wrong, Tim and Negru is still one of my most famous areas, one of the most famous, one of my most.
But Malay Island will
beloved
stay
areas.
with you forever.
If only for the fact that okay, you are literally entering the Devil's Castle. How evil can this get? Have you played Castlevania? Okay, so just crank that up a couple of notches, and then just tie a rope around your neck just in case
People
you want
back
to
in the
feel
day
any
did
more
consider Devil
sense
May
of
Cry
danger.
the what 3D Castlevania should
disagree.
be like.
But yeah, so
Like,
But
this
yeah,
is
so-
a 3D
but
Castlevania
here's
done
another
right.
reason why I love Devil May Cry 1. Well, 2 reasons. A, Virgil's in it because I didn't know.
Yeah, but this is before you realize that
I know, I was
Virgil
just
is
thinking,
like
oh
a
man, Virgil
tragic
must have been a pretty cool
anti-villain.
guy. Devil May Cry 3 comes out. Oh, is that Virgil? And that and my second favorite thing is knowing what I know about Virgil and how ingeniously written he is. He's like how ingeniously written Virgil is. It makes Nilo Angelo's death all the more hilarious when Dante picks up his brother's amulet and just like has a flashback, and like you're expecting, you're like, oh,
Play that clip.
I
if,
will.
If you can
I
add
will,
that
'cause, like,
clip.
you'd
here.
expect Dante like to start having a flashback of like Virgil falling into hell, or like him saying like an iconic line from Devil May Cry 3 while Sarah McLachlan sings "In the Arms of an Angel." No.
I'm sorry. I have like the most hilarious fucking memory of that song. But continue, Joey.
We all do. You can't take that seriously anymore. But don't die. But yeah, like as you're expecting Dante to have like this tragic flashback, instead you hear mini Dante and mini Virgil yelling. It's like, "Hey, happy birthday!" Like, you hear Dante's mom like, "Happy birthday, Dante! Happy birthday!" He's like, "I want chocolate." "No, I want chocolate." Ah!
And they're fighting in the background. And honestly, that is the most real memory you could ever have.
Exactly. Not only is it such a real memory, but now I'm going to have so much fun shit posting and editing my Devil May Cry 3 Let's Play. Just it's like, oh hey, look, no, Dante ended up liking strawberry further down the line, and Virgil liked chocolate.
God damn it,
Jesus
Virgil.
Christ, could you two be any more
I
polarized?
need more chocolate.
I need more chocolate. Oh my god, I'm gonna like Photoshop that and just like edit like as he's
Oh no, my chocolate.
like as he's gripping his hand, it's just gonna be a Hershey's in there.
A lot of those boss fights were really good. And I know you have a really I know you hate Nightmare. I still kind of like him. He was more of a puzzle boss than anything. You just hate the fact that he throws bosses as an attack.
To me, I count that as a sin because that's just
It's a
Capcom being
sin,
Capcom.
but at the same time, the boss itself was decent, was really good, and it was
Isn't
a
that just
very
a Devil May Cry
different.
staple now, though? Just like having a boss gauntlet.
That's a
Well,
Capcom staple.
yeah, that
like
was
Mega
that's a
Man,
Capcom
Okami, Beautiful Joe, God Hand.
Devil May
It's just
Cry
a-
1 to 4.
yeah, like that's a Capcom staple. Boss rushes.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing, but they should do it more of a like an extra sort of thing rather than make it mandatory. Which is kind of what Devil May Cry 3 does better because, while it is somewhat mandatory to go through some of these bosses again,
If you know what you're
It's-
doing, you can fight the bare minimum.
yeah, you can fight the bare minimum and move on. You can, if you want, do all the bosses to get a little reward, but it is extra. So I like that.
Speaking of Devil May Cry 3, here's where I love Devil May Cry 1 and Devil May Cry 3 equally. Devil May Cry 1 didn't go much into the realm of hell. It went into the mirror world, which might as well have been some kind of branch of hell.
It kind of
Because-
was.
Because when you met the nobodies, fear.
That probably stuck with you forever.
Oh yeah, because it just made me go, oh man, these things are difficult and frightening, and they get bigger.
When's
And they
Kingdom
laugh
Hearts
at
3?
you. And no, and they laugh at
Kingdom
you.
Hearts 3?
And they throw exploding eyeballs at you, and they eat your devil trigger. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yes.
But no, what made me frightened the most in Devil May Cry 3 was hell. Going to hell in Devil May Cry 3. You get to Tim and Nigru.
Ascending to hell.
You've got to the very top of Tim and Nigru once before. You fell down, got eaten by Leviathan, and you got to go travel up again because your brother's a dickhole.
Mhm.
Anyway, you go upwards. That was one of my most favorite things. Like, wait, where are we going? We're going to hell. Hell is up? Yes. You go up, and you are met with pristine white porcelain pillars of Greek
Destroyed.
ages. And and then you hear this beautiful yet
It's a
somewhat
twisted parody of what heaven could look like.
then again, because if anything, that really does draw a reference to Alighieri.
Yeah.
And I love it. And then you see the Fallen show up, and it's like,
Well,
they
you
are
see
doing
them
their-
show up in the middle of the game.
I'm talking
anyway.
about I'm talking about but you see them come in.
Oh yeah,
And to
greeting
me-
you. At
Yeah, it's like I love it because this is like, it's like the denizens of hell are doing their damnedest to go welcome to heaven. Also, the chessboard can go burn. chessboard can go burn.
That's intense but annoying as it is. I kind of
I-
like it, but that's because
I
I like
love
chess.
I love it because how ingenious of a enemy design that is, but I also hate it because comboing them properly is a pain in the ass because they don't stagger.
On top of that, it's some of the if there's enough too many chess pieces on the board, they'll solidify and make them unable to. You'll make it impossible for you to damage or combo. You'll just bounce off and lose your combo.
Yeah, but I don't think Devil May Cry 3 ever, like, Devil May Cry 1 disappointed Tuck in some way. I can understand. It was
Yeah.
different. It disappointed me in those water sections.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 3 never really disappointed me. But you know what else is disappointing?
What?
Those new tricks. I think I actually have that picture still. Like
New
when
tricks?
Tuck was... Yeah, the new Tricks cereal. Like, you know
Oh,
how...
well, yeah.
yeah, like, you know how Tricks is, like, was originally, like, whenever you poured a bowl, you would
Just
get,
a
like,
bunch of fruits.
watermelon in the shape of watermelon, grapes in the shape of grapes, raspberries, wild berries, all that.
Car.
Wait, what?
I heard a car in the background. It's fucking with my mic here.
but yeah, you know how you would get the shapes in the bowl of Tricks, right, Wrath?
Yeah, I didn't really eat tricks very often. I had it once, and it was good. That's all I can say.
Tuck got the new Tricks, and when he poured the bowl, they were just multicolored balls, just green, red, purple, yellow, and orange.
That is so disappointing. Aww.
Like, I've never heard of a cereal brand getting lazier with their cereal over time, but that's actually kind of ridiculous.
At least Lucky Charms still good.
You are literally you are literally the Kubo of cereal brands.
You know what I'm sad about? You know what kind of disappoints me?
What?
The you probably seen this before. You know the Gorilla Munch brand cereal
Oh, yes,
that turned into a meme.
I used to eat that before I even knew of that meme. I loved Gorilla
Yeah,
Munch.
they
changed it.
changed it.
Because it became a meme.
It became a meme, and they're like, "Oh fuck."
That's
Like,
the
why would
worst
you
thing that could happen to you if you're living.
No,
if you
no.
live long enough to be a meme, the world just seems like a dark place.
Well, not for Shia LaBeouf, apparently.
Well, his
Not
dream was
all
to become a
memes are
meme,
bad.
and he did it.
Not all memes are bad though.
But
Some of them
no.
are still hilarious.
No, but here's what I don't get. Gorilla Munch cereal, like, you became a meme, I get it. Did no one ever think, this might skyrocket our sales if we keep it the same, because everyone will
Yeah,
be
I was
wanting
thinking
to
the
go
same thing.
buy a
Because it's such a nice meme. It's why are you so upset? It's funny because
It's also ironic.
It's ironic, but it's also somewhat uplifting. It's like, why are you so upset? Just enjoy.
I would still...
Just enjoy.
It's like, It's like now, like, when
I
went to
will enjoy your cereal, Gorilla Munch. I will.
No, instead we're stuck with... I think
Now
one
we're
se-
just
I
getting CG gorilla
awful.
piece of shit that just doesn't look like anything. It's like,
And
it's not iconic.
if
It's
any,
not nice. It's not tranquil. It's just there.
Speaking of iconic cereals that have never let me down, at least you got Cap'n Crunch.
Peanut butter fucking crunch.
Yeah.
What about? Speaking of what about Reese's Pieces?
I
Or
don't
Reese's
have
Puffs,
those enough.
sorry.
I don't have those enough to love them.
I do.
I've had 'em.
Same with
They're
Cookie
pretty
Crisp.
They're good.
Oh my god, you know what I loved most? No, I really do. I love Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks were some of my favorite cereals. And
I'm
I
not a
like
big
Apple
fan.
Jacks. I have Apple Jacks like once a month.
Hey, Tug, do you remember that 90s commercial
I've had 'em-
for Apple Jacks?
No.
Okay,
All
I
because
get
I
to
was
tell
born in 1996.
I get to tell you both this amazingly stupid, like, Apple Jacks commercial.
Yeah, I've seen the commercial. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this kid's eating a bowl of Apple Jacks, and it's like, you know, like, the kids come over by the, like, lunch table, like, you
How
shush.
can you like Apple
He's like,
Jacks
saying, like,
if
what do
they
you
don't
eat?
taste
What are
like?
you eating? Apple Jacks. It's like, do they taste like apple? No, why do you eat Apple Jacks? They don't taste like apple. Gee, Jimmy, you tell me. Maybe because my parents actually love me and can get me name brand cereal, unlike you and your marshmallow mateys, okay?
Holy shit.
No, Joey just added that. But the actual commercial is like, yeah, the kid says, "Yeah, no, they don't taste like apples. They have a taste themselves." And it's like, "Why do you like Apple Jacks if they don't taste
Because
like
I just
apples?"
do.
It's like because I do. Yeah, it's like Apple Jacks.
It's
They don't
90s.
taste like apples. Or something stupid like that. But yeah, like I grew up with that commercial too. I was like,
Despite
you know,
what
I
people
wanna
say,
taste this.
the 90s were not a great time. They were
I
not.
liked it. I'm a '90s
appreciate-
kid. There's a lot of things about the '90s that I like.
I appreciate it, but at the same time, you have to step back and go.
It wasn't a good time to be an American in the 90s.
No, but it was a good time to be a kid.
Yeah, but you have to admit there was some pretty stupid shit. But
Like
It was,
Tupac
but-
and Biggie getting shot.
please don't remind me. And then there was the Rodney King incident in '92. Was it '92? I think it might be '92. Yeah, I forgot. '90s were still barely addressing a lot of the racism between African Americans and cops.
Let's not get political, okay?
Yeah.
It's just let's try to keep this fun.
Yeah, let's talk about Bill. Let's
this
talk
is our
about Michael
first
Jackson and how
podcast.
everything that he did was immediately forgotten because he died.
I don't forget Michael Jackson.
No, because all the
No, the
you
bad
know, the
shit
little
that he
kid
did.
rape allegations that he did before he died.
Oh, that's up in the air. That's up in the air because I can admit like there were some sketchy bits about it, but I like to say that some of it might have been unfounded. That's just me. But I'm not
Again,
going.
this
like,
is getting
I'm not
really
going to completely
political.
defend him.
This is our first episode. Let's try to keep it a little,
Let's talk about Bill Cosby rape instead.
Not that's
God
What's in
damn
this
it,
drink?
Joe!
Oh, it's just Jello, baby. Just take it down.
Wow.
Dude, he got sent to jail. It's over. It's
Okay.
confirmed.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So he's
Now,
he's
he's
done
gonna
then.
be taking the pudding pops.
Okay, then he's done. Then we don't need to talk about that anymore.
Sorry.
Jesus fucking Christ, Joey. I say don't get political. You go all the way.
It wasn't being political. I was just stating a fact.
Depressing, horrible rape shit. God
Hey, listen,
damn.
we get it. Bill Cosby made a lot of people's childhood, and it ruined a lot
And
of people's
he
childhood.
ruined a whole bunch of childhoods too.
But you know what? I can laugh at this because I can say my childhood icon died. This dude didn't have any dirty secrets. Thank God for Mr. Rogers.
I don't even remember who my childhood icon was.
I think
I think it was
childhood-
Dwayne The Rock Johnson because I watched a lot of wrestling when I was a kid.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson was a cool guy
And then The Rock left for a few years, and then
to do movies.
without any joke or any meme-related shit, John Cena was my hero for a while.
Yeah, I kind of liked him in The Marine. I think that was before he
Honestly,
became
His whole Marine shtick was
This-
actually pretty entertaining.
This might sound really weird, but even though I'm not exactly into wrestling or anything like that, I think my childhood icon was The Undertaker.
Oh, dude, Undertaker was such a beast.
He he was fucking awesome when I did watch wrestling back in the day, but yeah, at the same time, I'm not the biggest fan of that type of
Dude, I love-
entertainment.
Dude, I would love it. Like the Undertaker comes out, and here comes Kane, and you see Kane with like the red mask. It's like, oh yeah, it's the Undertaker's brother, and all of a sudden, Kane from Legacy of Kane comes in and just like sucker
Jesus
punch him and
Christ.
walks into the ring.
Remember,
And then takes the
I remember
Undertaker's
an
soul.
episode of WWE. Like it was like over 10 years since Kane and
When it was
Undertaker
WWF
had been like
back
in
in
a
the
tag
day.
team match together on the same
That
team.
was so. I remember staying up on a school night to watch that.
Like fucking
I-
like it was back. I think it was around 10 years ago that this episode of WWE happened. It was like on an episode of Friday Night SmackDown. I think it was like fucking Undertaker. Like the whole entire show was building up to this whole match of Undertaker and Kane probably being on
I
a
think
team.
I remember
once
this.
a long
I
ass
think I
time ago.
remember this.
And they fucking they won the match obviously, but decided to like put on a show for the audience. So after the match, they started to beat up the fucking jobbers for like a solid 10 minutes afterward. It was glorious.
I think I remember that actually. Holy shit.
Oh my god! If anything, I think one of my least favorite things is like I kind of liked him for a while when he was introduced, but if only for a cheap imitation. It's like whenever the Boogeyman came.
Oh my
The
god, the
Boogeyman.
Boogeyman was fucking awesome.
I don't think I watched. I don't think I watched enough wrestling.
Oh my
to,
god, I will put a clip. The Boogeyman. Like, you would hear this creepy music, everything would go red, and it's like, you would hear the announcer shout, "The Boogeyman!" And then he would, like, come out, get a mouthful of worms, and then, like, spit it on the guy in the ring before beating him down. It was, admittedly, yeah, it was awesome.
Was he a hero or a villain?
He was chaotic.
He wasn't either. He was just really right in the middle.
He was like on,
Oh, so he would just go after anybody.
Really?
yeah,
Honestly,
because
yeah.
he's the
And everybody
Boogeyman.
would cheer.
I liked the Boogeyman.
Sounds like I would like him too, but I never saw him.
X-Pac and Rikishi. Rikishi.
Rishi's dead.
Rikishi ass died.
Please don't remind me.
Test is also dead. Oh shit.
Dude, I did like Rikishi, if only for how much disrespect people got when they got knocked into the turnbuckle. He would just start planting his ass in their face, like,
Trish,
oh,
like back in
no.
like
The
the
ass
day,
dive.
like back in the day when Trish Stratus was still like around, her fucking boyfriend Test was also there, and apparently Test is dead.
Oh,
That sucks.
you know who I hated in wrestling, and I just never liked Triple H, mostly because he was dating Stephanie McMahon.
Oh well, yeah, he's married to her now. He still is,
Oh wow!
and he's
are you
actually
serious?
basically the running CEO of WWE right now.
Oh, good for him.
Because fucking Vince is old as hell.
I actually met Vince McMahon. He had a office here in Houston. Despite what you may think, he is a very cool guy, because he donated to my high school once. He donated like some wrestling t-shirts for like the high school graduation and shit. Vince McMahon is a really cool guy. I will say that, like, right here and there. Despite however they may portray him in WWE.
But some celebrities are kind of cool.
Well, yeah, then again, after all, just wrestling in itself is just, like testosterone-fueled soap operas.
Pretty much, but who cares? That can be cool in its own right.
Well, JoJo's is a
Let's admit,
testosterone-fueled
there are
soap
times
opera.
when they take the stories a bit too far, because back when there's back in like 2008, there's a Matt and Jeff Hardy rivalry. Because it was about Matt being all jealous of Jeff finally getting all this recognition. Because for years Jeff was basically like getting no recognition under Matt, like back in like early 2000s. Because Matt was a poster boy for a long ass time. And then Jeff like fucking won the WWE title in a ladder match and like started like winning. Like everybody started paying much attention to him, and they made a plot line out of that. And, like it went so far as to like make up the whole Matt running Jeff off the road. And fucking with his pyrotechnics to where they actually like singed his eyes.
Oh god, he got Metallica.
It was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Oh well.
The more ridiculous. Then again, I grew up watching telenovelas with my grandma, so don't tell me about ridiculous. I love telenovelas because in my head, I'm thinking this can't be real. Black and gray-haired man. He's got some pepper going in his hair. Slick back, mustache, nicely dressed, and he's got an eye patch. I'm like, this is not real.
Well, he's just so evil.
Mi hermano.
He's evil. Look at him. He's got an eye patch. He's so evil. Nobody with a proper morals would wear an eye patch.
And
Mi
a
hermano.
mustache and a winning smile with slicked back hair.
Like as he's and his brother's just like holding out his hands and like, no, Pablo, tú es su hermano, mi hermano es morir. Bam.
Damn it.
I love him. I love
Back on the
telenovelas.
topic of Final Fantasy for a second, I finally got around to
Okay.
playing the demo for Final Fantasy 15.
I saw it.
Oh my god,
And?
I
saw you
love
play
this
it.
demo so fucking much. I want to play the game so
Okay.
bad right now.
Because you said it feels like a Kingdom Hearts
Yeah, it's like
game
a
in
Kingdom
terms of
Hearts.
combat.
It's like it's controlled mashing like Kingdom Hearts is. At least it has some depth to it.
Well, that's good.
It's a open world Kingdom Hearts game. Basically,
I
what
had
it is.
my doubts about it. I still kind
Yeah,
of
you
do,
were being the
but
doubting Nancy when I showed you like the trailers and shit. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, guys.
I'm still a little iffy about that. But then I saw the Chocobo dragging. That's
the chocobo drifting.
That's some special kind of awesome.
That was the best thing. They literally
Like, that's-
get out of the
that's-
car and they just hop on chocobos.
And then they go dragging on chocobos, and that's like again, it's stuff like that can make me forgive some bland elements in other games. Like if they go out of their way to do something that they don't have to do, but is really fucking awesome, I'll go, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna give this another shot.
Final Fantasy 15 has no excuse to be a bad game. It's been in development for 10
It
years.
better not, because
There's no excuse to be a bad game.
Like, okay, like here's the thing.
Duke
The best
Nukem
thing is
Forever.
please, no. 13 years in the making. We were waiting for the second coming of Jesus, and
Just better.
So,
this
it-
has no reason to not be the perfect Final Fantasy game.
And if it's not the perfect Final Fantasy game, I'm pretty sure people are gonna riot.
Hey, you know
Just,
what? I don't trust Square Enix a lot. I don't trust Square Enix enough as it is. Like, I trust them enough, but
Okay, well,
after
I
the
trust
whole-
them with their own games, not slapping their label
But after
on
what they
games.
Yeah.
did with Legacy of Kain and Strider, I have my doubts at times.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now-
For people,
yeah,
no. People need to hear about this.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, Legacy of Kain is.
Let's
one
start
of the
with
most-
Strider first. Let's start with Strider first.
Let's start with Strider first, because that's easier. Strider, everybody knows, the amazing side-scrolling hack-and-slash game involving like the most badass god-killing cyber ninja
It got
of
a
all
it got a
time.
reboot by Double Helix, but what you don't know,
Yes, okay, yeah. 2014, Double Helix did it. And at the same time, like, this looks nothing like the intended trailer we had gotten. Because the trailer was leaked back in 2011, I believe. And it was originally being produced by Square Enix in collaboration with Studio Grin, I believe. Grin.
which did the Bionic Commando remake.
Oh, that really put a damper.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Bionic. Spencer doesn't need.
Nobody really knew that. Nobody really figured that out.
Spencer doesn't
but-
need to exist in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Can we just replace him with Nero?
Or Gene.
Nobody
Please,
likes Bionic
whichever
Commando.
Okay, anyway, we're going back to Grin Studio. They were supposed to make a sort of open world Strider game because like the trailer started off with like this Russian guy, like, you know, he heard something and he started
And
smoking a
he's
cigarette.
reading a sign.
All of a sudden, like the tip of his, like, you see a little gust of wind go by and is like mess with the tip of his cigarette, and then you see like this blank stare and he falls in half and you don't see Strider. That was one of the best damn things ever. It's like, oh my gosh, we're actually going to get a Strider reboot because, you know, Strider hasn't seen a new game since
The 90s?
early 2000, because I can't remember when Strider.
Yeah, Strider 2.
Yeah.
It was released in the early 2000s for the PS1, along with an arcade copy of Strider 1.
Strider 2 is one of the hardest games to acquire at the moment for me, but yeah, Strider
I'm
2,
probably
absolutely
in the
love
process
it.
of acquiring a copy for myself, so yeah.
Yeah, Strider 2, absolutely love it. It was amazing. Strider needed some love. It's like, you know what, this is a good chance for, you know, Capcom to breathe life into an old franchise.
And then Silence.
Square
3
Enix
years worth of
backed.
silence.
Square Enix backed out, left Studio Grin bankrupt. Studio Grin was no more after that. Square Enix just said, you know what, screw it, we're not going to be involved in this. Game was never made. But then, yeah, a little bit later, life was breathed into it with Double Helix doing the development, and I felt so conflicted at first because I'm like,
Double Helix. Didn't they make Battleship the game and
101 Dalmatians.
And didn't they also make Silent Hill Homecoming, which I still say is not the worst game of
That's
Downpour.
The Downcoming.
That's Downpour. That's
Yeah, okay.
Downpour, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, they made Silent Hill Homecoming. I was like, these guys don't really have any good games under their belt. And then I saw Killer Instinct. I'm like, oh wait, Killer Instinct's actually a good game.
Killer
I'm just
Instinct is. What can I
It's
say
the
about
most-
the new Killer Instinct, really?
It's alright.
It's alright, but you have to buy every
It's kind of sleazy in the characters when how you have
Yeah.
to acquire them. But anyway, I was just saying, it's like, okay, so I was like, you know what, the new Killer Instinct's actually pretty good. Like, I'm hoping it'll be good. And then they released the trailer, and then they showed gameplay and demo. Like, oh my god, this is it. And then I played it, and then I beat it, and I immediately have to say, this might just be better than Strider 2.
Oh shit, Double
You
Helix
were on a
is
Strider
Double
kick
Helix is
for the
literally like a
longest
town away
goddamn
from me.
Yeah, Double Helix is because Double Helix is like the biggest hesitation for me. It's like, I really don't know. I was so hesitant, but yeah, as Wrath said, I was on a Strider kick for the longest time. It's like, and for the use of
In the middle of your of the DMC LP, I believe.
yeah, I was doing that to cure myself of the cancer.
It kind of worked.
It kind of worked, and for people who don't know, heads up, I will be doing the Strider Let's Play. If anything, that might be one of the shortest Let's Plays I ever do, because
I want to be part of it.
Hey Joey.
You have-
hey Joey.
yeah.
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, that too.
Tuck, I've explained already. I will tell everybody again. For those of you who don't remember, I stopped at part 15 of my Ninja Gaiden when I beat Gamov, the optional boss for Sigma, who was an added boss for Sigma. Also, fuck him. And then everybody knows about the incident with my dead PS3. I gotta go replay Ninja Gaiden, get back up to that point, and
Yeah.
not bite off my lower lip as I'm doing it. And then maybe one day, but I will simply say this, Ninja Gaiden, there is no absolute future for that. There is no definite future.
No, that's
However, I will be redoing BioShock, because I lost data for BioShock.
Going to like part 4
And that's
of
a
that.
relatively easy game to go through.
No, I stopped at part 5. I will be redoing BioShock, Paolo will be getting involved again, and Tuck and I are going to pick up on Ratchet and Clank. I did not forget Ratchet
Oh,
and Clank,
good.
because Tuck and I had some of the best commentary in Ratchet and Clank, and I still have panic attacks whenever I go to that water segment in Blackwater City.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so yeah.
I can't wait
You know-
to see that, guys, really.
What do you mean, can't wait to see that? You could just go see, like, the panic...
No, I mean, I can't wait to see the
Oh, okay.
continuation.
Yeah, because here's what
like,
Tuck and I are going
I've
to
only
do. We're
recently
going to
be
do the
getting into
continuation. We're going to continue with Ratchet and Clank 1.
Yeah,
we're
Speaking
going...
of Ratchet and Clank, the new game is coming out. The new game and the movie is coming out this year.
I don't know how
I played the
feel.
demo for the reboot for Ratchet and Clank, and it's pretty good from what I played so far. But
It's kind of
the whole
redoing
thing's
the
kind of
story.
like retconning everything though, because it's a reboot. So.
Like, yeah, because it's introducing,
yeah.
Dr. Nefarious as human, apparently. Because apparently...
Yeah, I think it's doing its own. It's doing the same story, but adding new elements and changing a few things. I don't know if that's a bad thing because technically it's a reboot, but it's
Who knows, maybe
the
if this movie
exact
does well...
same story.
Maybe if this movie does well, because Chairman Dreck's in it, but they didn't keep his original voice. I'm sad.
Chairman Drek with his fucking normal eyes.
That's creepy as it is. It's Chairman Drek is apparently working under Dr. Nefarious now. And it's like, maybe if this movie does well, like, maybe it's going to lead up to Dr. Nefarious being thwarted by Quark or Ratchet somehow, and then he becomes, the iconic
It should be Quark.
Yeah, it
should be just straight up Quark that thwarts
and
him.
he becomes the iconic Nefarious we know and love, and please get Michael Bell to do Lawrence, please.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But,
here's what I was saying we're going to do. Tuck and I are going to finish Ratchet and Clank 1. We're going to skip Ratchet and Clank 2, because
Nobody cares about Ratchet and Clank
as
2.
much as
that game's
I
actually
like
not even
it,
that great.
but
it's not worth a
I
Let's
agree.
Play.
It's not the
No,
greatest.
Like, if
nobody really remembers anything from that game because it's just
I
so
do.
forgettable.
I remember that female
I do.
Lombax that we never talked of again.
Yeah, and she just disappeared like nothing
Well,
happened.
no, she's mentioned again in A Crack in Time, but that's only through like a radio conversation that you overhear,
Oh, okay. Anyway, but yeah,
where she and what's this called, Dr. Apogee, basically managed to open a portal to where the Lombaxes are and escape that way.
okay. But what I was saying was like, Tuck and I are going to finish Ratchet and Clank 1, then we're going to go to Ratchet and Clank 3, then we'll go to the future series.
Good series, but I think
Yeah, and Tools of Destruction's the most unbalanced piece of crap.
Every
Tools of
weapon
Destruction
does
isn't-
so much shit damage.
Tools of Destruction is yes, it is very unbalanced, but I thought it was still enjoyable for what it was. But
Golden
if you
Disco
wanna get
Ball.
I love that thing. But yeah, the better part of the series is A Crack in Time, and the interesting part of the series has to be. I sent it to you, but
Into Nexus.
Into the Nexus. It's shorter, but it has a very different story.
Yeah, it did.
You're gonna like it because it's very Lovecraftian in nature.
Yeah, because
Everybody forgets that Quest for Booty existed because it didn't have a fucking physical copy here in the States.
yeah, it was an
that's
interquel.
true.
It was an interquel between Tools of Destruction and A Crack in Time.
Which is funny because it's actually rather crucial to the story.
It's a crucial game because it's about Ratchet getting fucking Clank back. It never got a physical copy here.
And us discovering that it was nefarious behind it all.
But but Quest for Booty does come with copies of Into the Nexus. I originally tried to get Joey that download copy, but it didn't have the actual number printed on it for some stupid reason. So hopefully this one will work. If not, he'll just have to buy it some other way.
So there's the heads up for people. Like the next focus of my Let's Plays is finishing Dark Souls, because I had to get everything in order. And that and my job's just been beating down on me for a while. Getting Dark Souls done, which should be done soon, because we'll be caught up. And getting Dark Souls done, getting Ratchet and Clank caught up, getting Bioshock caught up. Those two, I can't confirm how soon it'll be before I get my data back
Metal
on
Gear
that.
Solid 4 caught up.
And then... Oh, no, I have the save file.
Oh.
Like, exactly where I left off in the Let's Play, I rotated my saves in Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh, that's good. Well, I meant caught up as in you gotta do the LP.
Oh, yeah, for people who don't know, man, Spirits and I finished Metal Gear Solid 4, but it happened, like, Metal Gear Solid 4, like, we did Devil May Cry, like, well, DMC, Cancer, and Metal Gear Solid 4, we finished them both, but because of my computer dying on me, we lost so much, and it put me behind a lot, especially in terms of money and hard drive and stuff.
Thankfully, it's not exactly a long game, especially where you're at.
So just keep an eye out for Metal Gear Solid 4 and Dark Souls. Those are going to be the two priorities at the moment. Yeah. And again, Wrath and I will probably be doing Spirits and I are going to do Devil May Cry 3.
Dante's side.
Wrath and I are going to be... And then, Raph's going to join me for the Virgil side, because, Virgil's the superior brother in every aspect, and understood he actually understood
what's
he wielding a claymore like a katana. Fuck you, Virgil.
You're just mad because Virgil was Sparta's favorite.
At least he's not holding a katana like a fucking...
Oh god, that's reversed. Oh god. Fuck you, DMC. Fuck you.
Oh, please stop reminding me of that. But, no, again, I will just say, at least Virgil was, like, the favored son of Sparta,
but he
knew what his father fought for.
No! You lie like a rug, Joey!
What do you mean?
You're... fucking spit your teeth out, you're lying!
I don't know what you're talking about. I think Virgil was the best in the game because he understood everything. He just understood that,
shut this idiot up.
He's like Ayato. Ayato understands that you can't be weak and defend your family.
Well, yeah, that's why he joined Auguri Tree.
And that's why he got 103 of his bones broken.
Tokyo Ghoul Day is just the worst fucking thing I've ever watched in my entire... This is worse than Sword Art Online in its entirety.
Wow.
That's what I think of Tokyo Ghoul Day. It's so bad.
Wow.
That's actually pretty bad.
It's the most unfaithful adaptation to a manga I've ever seen in my entire life.
And yet it still tries to follow the adaptation in its own way.
They said we're not trying to follow manga, but they followed it anyway, and they fucked it up.
They just reorganized it.
It's so bad. The first season was fine in itself. It still had its problems, but it was at least watchable. Rude is just the worst thing in the entire fucking planet. Oh god, I hate... I'm, like, ask anybody that I know, they'll know that I'm the biggest Toyogo fanboy.
You're the biggest anime fan.
That's Spirits.
I think that goes to Spirits. That goes to Spirits.
Oh.
That's Spirits. I'm more of a single person. Like, once I find something I love, I'll stick with it, because my favorite video game series is the Tales of series, and I fucking praise that series to death.
My favorite manga still to this day. It's I'm really conflicted. It's either JoJo's Part 7 or it's Berserk, but knowing our luck, Berserk's probably never going to end, and I'm going to die before Miura does.
And this is way out of... Well, that's beside the point. It's way out of honestly. All that kind of stuff is way out of my league.
You've got the Legacy of
If you
Kain
guys
series under your
don't
belt.
know out
Tell
there.
them about that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like when it comes to anime and manga, I'm not the person you should ever talk to about it.
Except Yu Yu Hakusho.
But that's because my girlfriend introduced me to it, and it was awesome.
But yet you can attest to how good that show is.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yu Yu Hakusho is
It was
I
amazing.
keep saying, Yu Yu Hakusho is one of the greatest shonen to ever exist.
Even better than Saint Seiya. And even though I like Saint Seiya, there are some times where Saint Seiya actually goes shonen.
So good that Bleach ripped it off to multiple degrees.
So good that
Fuck you,
Bleach
Bleach.
ripped off multiple parts of Saint Seiya and
Okay,
Bleach.
Bleach ripped off Saint Seiya, Dragon Ball Z, and Bleach. I mean, no, fucking Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to Bleach ripping off Bleach.
Fuck, would you really expect anything? They kind of did, actually, because there's two rescue arcs. There's two rescue arcs.
Oh my god, Orihime
Wow.
and Rukia.
Yeah, it ripped itself off. So that's how an original Bleach is.
Okay, what I was trying to say is, like, even though I have dipped some of my tastes into certain animes, it's not nearly as extensive as you guys. Like, I'm probably 5% compared to you guys.
Probably, yeah.
5%. Maybe less than that. Like, you would be able to talk about the intricate details of Berserk for hours. And
Don't
I
get
would
me
go...
started.
Exactly! Exactly! I would just never be able to, I would be able to follow it because I can follow plots like Bayonetta, Metal Gear Solid, Legacy of Kain, and a lot of other, and Kingdom Hearts for that matter. I can follow plots, but I won't be able to recount details on, like, the way Joey can in many different mangas and animes that, well, again, either of you guys get into.
Like, wait, Tuck, you haven't read Part 7, have you?
I've only read, like, the beginning of it.
Beware Chocolate Disco.
See,
I hate
see
the
that
The
shit
only way
flies
you
on
can-
my
The only way you
head.
can actually get me to pay attention to Part 5 is when it inevitably gets animated. That's the only time I can actually care for it.
Can we get Todd Havercorn as Giorno from Dan Southworth?
I want Dan Southworth as Giorno.
I'll be fine with either one. But no, like, as to, exemplify what Wrath was talking about. Anybody in the comments who's read JoJo's Part 7, and I know a lot of my fans who have, our fans, I know a lot of our fans who have read Part 7, you can recall Chocolate Disco, one of the most minor villains, and one of the stupidest villains. I won't say what his power is, you can just go look it up and also understand that he was named after a K-pop band.
Now,
So that's already exemplifying him as trash.
yeah, and like going back to my predicament, that flies right the fuck over my head. Again, that
And
knowledge
sometimes
is
I feel kind of bad for you at times, because whenever Tuck, Spirits, and
yeah,
I
you,
and even Paolo, like,
and then
make
I just have
anime
to sit
jokes.
there and just kind of listen. And it's like, okay, let me try to piece this together and not say something stupid.
I guess that was kind of funny.
Fuck.
Monster Girls, you're meshy.
Yeah, so every now and then I just feel like I'm way out of my league, and here I should probably go. But I
So
stick
that's why
around.
you got Nico B. That's why you got Nico B to introduce you to how stupid Danganronpa can be at times.
He
Oh
still
my God.
enjoys the fuck out of it.
Can we not talk
Yeah,
about
let's
that
not
dude?
talk
Oh
about it
my
because we all
God,
know
I
how
hate-
much Tuck really
fucking
hates it.
hate Danganronpa. Holy shit.
It's mostly the
Put it-
anime
put
that
it-
you hate, though, right?
No, I hate it. I hate its fucking game. I hate
Okay,
its games. I hate everything
Okay,
about
okay,
Danganronpa.
okay, okay.
Put a lid on that. Put a lid
Put a
on
lid
that.
on that.
Fuck.
For a minute. Okay.
We're
We
going
were
to
just
Asura's
talking
Wrath
like
territories in
okay.
terms of rage.
Yeah.
Just literally saying that triggers the hell out of me.
We could actually say triggered for Tuck because he probably has like Vietnam flashbacks whenever
It's a
somebody
berserk
mentions-
button for him. Okay, I get it. I know. But
It's
then
like
again,
saying-
there's a few things that can cause Tuck to go into a frothing rage.
I don't know anything that could send you into a frothing rage.
There's very little. Really,
Cutting him
there's
off
very
when
little.
when we're arguing.
Huh?
Cutting you off when we're arguing.
Well, yeah, that does get under my skin. But if I can get on track, I'll be fine.
I think the only thing that can... I take that back. There's not only a few. There's plenty of stuff that gets under my skin, but over time...
Yeah, but you have a short fuse.
Over time, my rage is rather diluted since Asura's Wrath, but...
What about Alton?
What?
What about Alton or Cryptic?
Those guys.
I mean, I like those guys, but...
They have their fucking...
They have their moments.
Alton's not as bad as Cryptic, but gee... Okay, I take that back. I guess I did find something. But yeah.
The moment we start playing frickin' Anarchy Reigns, things start to get personal.
Things really get personal to the point of where I can't drink when I'm around you guys. Otherwise, I will start really saying some mean-spirited shit. No, but even then, just I don't think, you know what the sad thing is? I don't even think DMC fills me with rage anymore.
Mostly disappointment and disgust.
Because, again, I will say this, one thing I actually did like, and something they really could have worked on for a decent, opportune moment for, like, expanding on a character.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, when Mundo said, like, why did you kill my child? To me...
Such a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, a part of me was like, actually, you know what? Let's hear this guy out. And then he actually gave on this speech about, like, what humanity had before he came in. A part of me was kind of going, he is kind of right. I do like this a bit.
Like, this could have been a well-intentioned extremist moment.
Yeah, and he would.
This could have been like given some depth to a character that we were supposed to hate.
We're talking about fucking Mundo from Devil May Cry.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, we are.
Oh, we're talking about the fucking generic corporate villain.
Yeah, it's Tony Soprano wannabe.
That again, like, he is a generic villain for most of the game, but at this one moment, there's
more character than any other fucking characters.
Exactly, and it's wasted. It's wasted. Ah.
Well, dead baby joke, guys.
Ah.
Also, I can't get over how... I take that back. There is something that actually sends me into a frothing rage, but it's not in video games anymore, aside from, like, maybe Alton, how he plays. But, the SJWs, but we're not talking about that. Just, if you want to know...
Because they'll get triggered.
If you want to know, just check my Twitter feed, and Tux and Spirit... Well, not Tux or Spirits that much. Just check my Twitter feed and see the hellstorm that has been raging.
Going back to Alton and Cryptic, we don't hate you guys. Trust us. I like the both of you, but you do have a tendency to say or do a couple things that at least make Joey pissed.
Well, even then, like, at least they're not, like, I will admit, we've all done some things to get under each other's skin. Cause Spirits, it doesn't... It takes a lot.
I think he's a professional troll.
It takes a lot to get Spirits mad.
Like what you do when you torched his stuff in Minecraft?
I didn't torch, I blew it up.
Okay, well, the second you got God mode in Minecraft, you fucking set a forest on fire, Joey.
You give me... Tuck, did my explaining how I first got
He did the same thing in my world, but I let it go because, well, whatever.
Don't let me into open world games, guys. Fire will just randomly pop up. It's like, why is the ocean on fire?
I had to clean up his mess, but like he created giant towers of lava and water. I had to fucking drain them. It took me an hour.
In my defense, it was easily flammable.
Joey.
At least the rainforest, which was actually causing some frame rate problems, was diminished enough that it didn't make so much of a problem anymore.
See, my destructive god complex has saved you.
But that lava and water mess you left behind, holy shit, it took me an hour to clean up and leave, like, freaking hollow towers, just shells of what's left
At the
behind.
risk of sounding like a perv, which
I mean, they look
am.
cool. They look cool, but at the same time, it was just...
At the risk of sounding like
so
a perv, as I
much
already am, it's like, yeah, you had a hollowed out tower, but like when you break the brick off the top of it, that phallic shape, all of a sudden, like, lava comes spurting out.
You're disgusting, Joey.
I didn't intend that, but that was the first thing that came to mind. Was like, wait.
Well, then why did you describe it to us?
I didn't intend it, but then I was like...
Well, you just fucking described God
like
damn
I
it, never.
originally
You know what?
didn't.
Fuck it.
I originally didn't intend it like when I was playing the game, but when I had a second thought, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's awful." But no,
That's because
like,
you swing both ways.
well, yeah, but the dude's got to be like absolutely pretty. But regardless of that, yeah, getting under Spirits' skin, it's you really got to try. You have to be
Like blowing up
Like
his
the
stuff.
least I've had to try was when we were playing like Chrono Phantasma about 2 years ago. They picked Kokonoe, and Kokonoe is the most skillless piece of shit.
The moment Spirit sees Kokonoe or any other particular characters in a fighting game that he hates, he just destroys them with like a silence that can only be rivaled by the abyss.
Spirit doesn't yell, he doesn't say anything, he goes quiet.
And
That's
when Spirits
probably the
goes-
most scary type of rage I've ever seen in my life.
Tranquil Fury.
Yeah.
yeah, because he's done it to me 2 times before, and it's absolutely frightening. If anything, I think the one thing I do that does get under Spirits' skin and tucks to an occasion is also Pala can shut the fuck up about this. That time I posted the spiders as a joke. As a joke when I said not
Joey,
safe for
Okay, there's a point where the joke goes too far, and you do it all the time.
as I did it as like not safe for work, leaked spider nudes. That's when I posted the mating dance between spiders. That's it. It was a joke. I wasn't doing
Because
it
all you're
because
looking at is like images of spiders. You don't even really know what's going on.
pretty much.
It is a stupid joke, but at the same time, you do cross lines, Joey. You have done it.
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories.
Okay, listen. I was drunk.
Fucking hell. God damn it. You
No.
you don't even know what I'm talking about, and already you go
When
to
I was
that
posting
one.
on Twitter.
Yeah, but you want to know something? I bet you don't even know what I'm talking about. You're just making a blanket statement because you've done this so many times.
I don't know if I have done it sober.
Tuck,
What?
how many times has he done something like that?
What, got drunk on Twitter and started posting a bunch of nudes?
Of whatever.
Oh, like at least 3 times?
3 times, and then
At
I
least.
stopped. And then I stopped.
At
like,
least.
at least 3 times. Then I stopped, and I said, you know what? Next time I get drunk, I'm just going to either like fall out on the floor or just watch a movie with my friends.
Okay, we should probably start the clock now.
Wait, what?
See how long this lasts.
It's been more than 2 months.
I want to talk about the Tales of series for a sec.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Sure, but
Tales
I
of
don't
the
have much to
Abyss.
say about
Sorry,
it.
Okay, well, back in like 2013, when Zillia first came out over here, like fucking Spirits over here was like praising the shit out of Zillia. Like every time we were like in a phone call, like he had a video on it, like showing like what the game was, how it played. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll pick this up. I started playing Zillia, and I fell in love immediately. And he was right. The series is so good. And then I started playing like other games, and then I started playing Symphonia 2, the game that everybody fucking hates. And
And then you saw that it was actually decent.
It's actually better than its predecessor. In terms of in terms of gameplay, it's debatable. In terms of story and characters, much better. Because Symphonia 1 is, I wouldn't say I really hate Symphonia 1, more it's just your generic RPG story.
If anything, I will say this about Zillia, because Spirits and Tuck had always badgered me about it. Always badgered me about it. And because I kept on seeing all these Skid Spirit posts, I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll just order Zillia and get it. And when I did, I didn't expect to, absolutely love it 5 minutes in.
Like, didn't you start, play for, 4 hours one night straight?
Yeah, for a whole week I would play 2 to 4 hours straight, and I still need to pick back up on it because if I recall, I remember I left off at the point where we found out that chick in, not Nile Jewel, what the heck is that canyon with the Coliseum, Tuck?
Oh, Shandu.
Yeah, I found out that chick from Shandu was actually, selling orphans in her previous occupation. We found out about that, and that's where I stopped.
Oh,
But regardless,
Isla? Yeah, she does something. Alvin related later, and Alvin's not too happy about it.
Oh, is it? Does it involve his mom?
Maybe.
Oh boy. But yeah, Tales of Xillia, in my opinion, like from what I've been examining from it, glorious combat system. Love it.
Oh no, Joe! It's stiff and clunky. Says some retard on this Tales of fan page I'm fucking following.
Fattest part of my dick. There it is.
You guys have seen. Wrath has seen gameplay of it, and he says it's good.
Yeah.
And he says it's good.
And then Tales of Xillia, Tales of Xillia 2. From
Xillia 2 is even better. Oh my, Xillia 2 is my all-time favorite video game ever. I love Xillia 2. Xillia 2 is amazing.
I will get around to it, but yeah, like I said,
and then
Tales of Xillia.
Like, okay, the order I played the Tales of games were Xillia, Symphonia 2, and then I played the best one in the series, Abyss. Abyss is amazing. Everybody should play Abyss. And then I played.
Wait, does Abyss have a PS3 copy?
Yeah, no, it has a PS2 and a 3DS copy.
I'll probably get the
Get
3DS
the PS2
one.
version. Why not the PS2 version?
The PS2 version doesn't have frame rate problems like the 3DS version has. It's a lot more smooth.
Okay, then yeah.
Oh, then well, there you go. Get the PS2 version.
Probably will.
But it's probably costs a lot more than the 3DS version. That's probably why.
Well, you could probably get it cheap, like on Amazon or eBay or something like that.
Then I played.
I do that all the time.
And then I played the first Tales game Spirits played, Radiant Mythology, which is like create your character and like experience a world with every Tales of character that's been around since then. It's like it was like the Dissidia, but like more of Dissidia, like more of you have the party of the characters with you, and you explore the land. And then I played Symphonia 1, and Symphonia 1 disappointed me because Symphonia 1 is hailed as the best one of the series, and it's really not.
You know what? Everybody hails it as the best one because it's like
it's the first one.
It's
the majority of the Tales fans in America played Symphonia 1 first. That's why they hail it as the best one.
I know that feeling.
And then I played Tales of Hearts R, and oh boy, Hearts R. What do I? Stop me if you heard this before. Like a kid with brown hair on an island with his two best friends.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, basically Kingdom Hearts. Tales of Hearts R is literally Kingdom Hearts, but Tales of
Kingdom Hearts.
Basically, it's not even trying to hide it. Tales of Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts is light.
I played. Well, I recently played Vesperia like back in 2014, like at the end of 2014. And I didn't get around to finishing it because I didn't have a 360. I was playing my brother's friend's 360 for it, and I liked it when I first originally played it. Then I played through it again recently. I don't like Vesperia at all. I don't like its main character. Yuri is a terrible, terrible main character.
But he's so cool, guys. He kills government officials and stuff.
No, that's gonna that causes other problems though, and he gets a slap on the wrist for it all the fucking time because his best friend is the commandant. That's the problem. And then Zestiria recently came out, and Zestiria is pretty good, although it still also suffers from the fact that it's kind of got a generic plotline. It's probably the most black and white game I've played out of the entire series. And then Berseria is coming out, and that's a direct prequel to Zestiria, and it looks pretty good.
You're not holding your breath, are you?
I don't know. I don't know what to think about Berseria. Zestiria was fine as a game. It was had a fine plot and had good characters. It was probably the funniest cast I've experienced out of the series because I've never Zillia made me laugh, but it didn't make me laugh as hard as Zestiria because their characters are like Zestiria's got very colorful characters. I'm not talking about the character designs because they are fucking they're elemental seraphs. I'm talking about they're a fun cast to watch and be around, just play through. It's a very
kind of like the Persona series, how you can just enjoy the characters even if you're not entirely into the game, right?
Yeah, that's basically what Zestiria is to me.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get that. Mind if I ask you an interesting question? About your favorite game. What are some of the things that you don't like about it?
Xillia 2? Well, it reuses assets from places all the time because it's a rushed game. If it wasn't rushed, it would probably be the perfect Tales game to ever exist.
Right.
And frame rate issues, that's also a thing that carried over from the first Xillia.
Oh, damn it.
But it was at the end of the cycle for PS3, so maybe if it was made for the PS4, it wouldn't have those problems.
Probably. Well, I mean, technically the PS3 isn't exactly done, but yeah, I get your point.
It probably would have been better if it was made on PS4 than the 3.
Chances are it might be ported to the PS4 anyway.
Maybe. It is a possibility, but probably not for till way farther down the line.
Yeah. Maybe there will be some sort of Tales of collection that chronicles is the.
I'm still waiting for a dot hack GU collection, but that's nowhere to be fucking seen.
Yeah.
Spirits
fair
would be
enough.
going on about dot hack right now if he was in here.
Jesus.
Spirits loves dot hack, which is why he has such a vehement hatred for SAO.
Yeah.
That we don't blame
Yeah, I
him for.
think
SAO is just the worst thing ever.
Again, I'm not into anime, and I already know that.
Yeah, don't have to know anything about anime to know that SAO is just straight up garbage.
Like, I saw some clips, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Speaking of the Persona series, Persona 5's come out summer of this year.
I'm excited.
So am I. The creators of it say that the aim for this game is to make it like more feelsy than any other game that's come out.
I hope it works, because, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Even though I don't have Persona 4. I watched Nico play through it, and I thought it was an amazing fucking game, and I hope to get it for the Vita, which my girlfriend has, so I could play it for myself. And even though I do have Persona 3, I haven't played it yet.
I've not finished Persona 3. Like, I keep trying, but I keep fucking getting sidetracked by other things. It sucks.
The only reason why I haven't actually played Persona 3 yet is because I wanted to play Nocturne first. I wanted to give that game a whirl because I've always wanted to play it, and because it's an RPG, it's going to take a long-ass time. And it did! It did take a while, because there was so much shit that I wanted to get done in that game. But eventually I'm going to play Persona 3, get through it, enjoy the fuck out of that game. Probably not laugh very much like I did when I watched Nico play Persona 4, but I'm probably still going to be entertained by the story anyway.
Persona 4 was my introduction to the series.
Watching the series from Nico was my introduction. Technically speaking, if playing the game is the true introduction, I haven't really played a Persona game yet, so I guess it would be Persona 3 event when I get around to it.
Yeah. I watched a playthrough of Persona 4 as well, but Persona 3 was the first Persona game I played.
Yeah, fair enough. That is, unless Persona 5 comes out and I decide to give that game a go first.
Yeah, and it's coming out for the PS3 and 4, so...
Yeah, I'm rather excited about it. I'm pretty sure that it's basically going to run exactly the same on both consoles.
Yeah, maybe it just has the Xenoverse problem where it just have frame rate issues on the 3.
But it's an RPG, so it's probably not even going to have very much of too much of a problem anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, and I play Xenoverse all the time, and the frame rate issues do happen, but it doesn't happen enough for me to hate it. So
the Xenoverse is quite the closest we've probably gotten to like a perfect Dragon Ball game since fucking Budokai.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna agree with that because like I love the Budokai series. I have all 3 games for the PS2, but yeah, if I'm gonna choose one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z games ever, it's going to be Xenoverse, because I can create whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, but
it's
first
limited.
version unpatched Xenoverse was just god. Jesus.
It was fun, but
it was. But oh my god, the RNG.
Yeah. I mean, I got over it, but because I have the patience of a goddamn saint. But yeah, at the same time, I could feel your frustration over that, because there are certain things like. The RNG wouldn't be so bad if
the game wasn't so reliant on it.
If they didn't make it so that the RNG also affected missions. I mean, I get what they were trying to do. I get what they were trying to do.
More playtime.
They wanted to make it. Huh?
They wanted like more playtime of it because you can still get items that you've already gotten.
No, that wasn't necessarily the idea. What they wanted to do was that, like, depending on how you behaved, like sometimes like special events would have like they were explaining this before Xenoverse came out. That said sometimes during missions like a special event would happen and you would like clear it for like bonuses. And I guess the idea was like it was like it was supposed to be an optional thing, but the problem is it's mandatory in the grading system if you want a Z frickin' grade.
But it's still dictated on RNG, which makes
But
it kind of hard.
Yeah, and like at the same time, sometimes those quote unquote optional missions were needed to be completed in order to get some of the some of the items or skills or equipment, which sucks because
The skill Super Vegeta being the most prominent example of this, because Super Vegeta is probably the most annoying skill in this entire game to obtain.
Yeah. So I understand what they were trying to go for, but next time when they do Xenoverse 2, because they're gonna fucking do it, don't RNG the missions at least. At least don't RNG the missions.
Like when you get an item, like the items you get, the drops you get from the game are shareable between all your characters. So like just make it so like once you get an item, that's it. You can it's like you just have it. You can like use it multiple times
or
on the same
at the
character.
same time, or at the or
multiple
or
times at the
least,
same time as well. But
or,
like cancel out the fact that you can get this again because you already have it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
basically get the other ones.
I guess it's because you could get it multiple times through like a shop or something like that, or get it multiple times through a mission. So I understand what they do, why they did that, but here's the other option that they could have gone with instead. Like what they could have done was like if you got that particular item or that particular clothing or equipment from a mission, it should be available in the shop, so you could buy it as many times as you want to share it with as many characters as you want.
Yeah. So what were you talking
Welcome
about?
back.
Sorry,
Welcome
sorry.
back, Joey.
I needed to get a water. My throat.
And that's going to be in the podcast.
What?
The water.
I needed to get a water.
The water.
No, we were
You
just
see-
talking about how Xenoverse is technically the closest we're going to get so far to the perfect Dragon Ball Z game.
But
That's
let's
not a
wait for
lie.
Xenoverse 2.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully there'll be
Xenoverse-
more customization options in Xenoverse 2, if anything.
And a solution to the RNG problem and the clothing problem.
It's like, can we stop the trend of not putting all Cell and Frieza's forms, please?
Please, I would like some of their forms.
I mean,
but
if all Majin Buu's forms are in this game, except for fucking full-on Evil Buu, which is just the gray version, what's the excuse, guys?
You know what I would actually like, speaking about that, I forgot to mention, great news, Tuck, Wrath, and possibly Alton will be involved in a, Xenoverse, a couple of Xenoverse videos. They're gonna be like short little bursts and everything,
Just
But,
little stupid videos where we'll play PyCon's theme and kick the shit out of each other. I don't know.
yeah, that could work, but, also, yeah, I forgot, there's gonna be a Xenoverse playthrough on my part. This is gonna involve Kale, and it's just gonna be me riffing on how silly the story can... It's literally gonna be me...
It's just a solo sort of thing, unless I jump in and beat the shit out of you.
No, it's gonna be a solo thing just for me. Like, it's been forever since I've done a solo Let's Play. Like, the last time I did was my Portal 1, which I still think was one of the few times where
What about
I
your
could...
Vanquish one?
Dude, that was like my first Let's Play. I'm talking about Portal 1 was like 2 years after Vanquish.
Oh, okay.
My Portal 1 Let's Playthrough was one of the best examples of how I can actually manage single commentary, which wasn't all that difficult, but Vanquish wasn't always solo. Most of the time it involved my friends popping in and out of the room.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully Xenoverse 2 fixes a lot of the problems from Xenoverse 1.
Oh, indeed. Anyway, a question I already gave Tuck. I want to ask you, Joey. What are... Okay, in regards to your favorite game, what are some of your bigger complaints about your favorite game? Like some things that you hate that you wish you could change, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, that'd probably be like to narrow it down to 2 games, but Devil May Cry 2, Devil May Cry 3's sketchy platforming. Because here's the thing, I
It
love
was
Devil May Cry
sketchy
3.
throughout the entire Devil May Cry series.
Yeah, I love Devil May Cry 3's Devil May Cry, but its platforming can go eat the fattest dick, because here's the problem. Whenever you platform, you shouldn't have an angle shift unless it's absolutely necessary, because the moment that camera shifts, it shifts in respect to the direction your character is facing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So this has happened many a times to me in Devil May Cry 3, not as much, but in Devil May Cry 4 it is rampant. And it makes me it really does irritate me, because my particularly least favorite area was Mission 17, and you had to jump around the bitch blocks, as I called them.
Yeah. Yeah, Devil May Cry 3 was rather infamous of bad platforming.
And another game I'd say Metal Gear Solid 1, but I don't think I can list too many problems that I have in Metal Gear Solid.
Some of the problems in that game are more
Meryl's
attributed
ass.
to- what I was gonna say was some of the problems in that game are more attributed to the limitations of the hardware and the era of
Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing.
system.
That's the problem. It's like when I think back on it, it's like this is one of the epitomes of video games. So to go back, yeah, Devil May Cry, you're gonna laugh at me. While Devil May Cry 3 is like literally like my holy grail of like the video games, inside that holy grail is something even more. I just imagine that like any of the servants in Fate achieving it, and it's like I finally get
What's
the
inside
Holy
the Holy Grail? It's just this little piece of turd.
Giant piece of shit in my holy grail.
No, it would be a little turd, but like here's the thing, it wouldn't be like one of those like little, it'd be like this little ball that
A little deer turd. Just
like
one
if you,
little deer turd.
no, it'd be like if you pick it up, it's like it's stained. It's stained everywhere it rolled in the grail. It's like, oh.
Oh God, that's gross.
Analogy aside, inside that holy grail.
Well,
is
instead of a deer poo, I envisioned a little fucking rabbit pellet of shit.
Don't remind. I got a rabbit. I can't.
I
stand
had
those
a
things.
rabbit. I know what it was like to take care of it.
But no. Regardless of that, inside that holy grail is a life-giving liquid known as.
Drinking shit water.
Jesus fucking Christ, this has gone downhill.
No,
inside of the Holy Grail that is Devil May Cry 3
is a game that I will hold to my heart to the very end. Like, I can find no wrong with it. Nothing.
And what is
Banjo-Tooie. Not even out of nostalgia factor. Banjo-Tooie addressed...
Now, what I'm gonna say is neutral, okay? I don't know if I can agree or disagree on it because I haven't gotten to Banjo-Tooie. I'm still in the process of playing the first game.
Yes.
And the first game is really awesome, but
But as you said, there are some issues. There are some
issues, and one of the bigger glaring issues... I'm sorry if I'm going on a tangent here, but one of the bigger glaring issues straight away is Bubble Gloop Swamp.
Yes, okay, I admit that. That was one of my least favorite areas. I will admit that. But again, Wrath, you had me ready to go off on you when you were explaining. Like, for people who don't know, I love Banjo-Kazooie to death. I grew up with it. And Wrath recently was introduced to the series, and he was like talking about
a year
how good
ago.
it was.
John would fucking talk about the game on end, and I watched their LP for a little while, and I was like, you know, this is a really cool game, and I have a 360, and I don't really use it for very much else except for Halo. So, fuck it. And then I bought Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, and I decided to play them.
Yeah, but as I was saying, it's like, yeah, you had me ready to go off, because like most of the time you found a lot of fun in that game, but then you found Bubble Swamp, and it's like, a part of me kind of goes back and goes, well, I did not like that area, I will admit, so
And then I basically explained why I hate that area.
Yeah, so I will just simply say this. He has his complaints, he's still learning, but
Yeah.
I will say this. Banjo-Tooie was a game that hit me with wonder and astonishment. Like, no game could trump Banjo-Kazooie, because I was thinking, like, this game was, like, phenomenal. Even to this day, it's still, like, one of the best, like, the pinnacle of platforming.
Now, I don't know if I can agree or
If you
disagree
start
with
up
that.
and if you bring Spyro into this, I will punch you, because I understand. I understand, Wrath. But I will punch you. I will drive over to Canada, and I will
Spyro's
punch
dead,
you.
and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Blame Universal. Oh, was it Universal?
No. Blame Activision.
Activision. It was Universal that ruined Crash.
Crash is dead, and that most makes me sad.
Um,
I only played Twinsanity, so I can't really say I like Crash all that much.
I've got Crash 2 and Crash 3.
Crash 3 is the best, in my opinion. Just 3 best. But, no, as I was saying, Banjo-Tooie is everything right with Rare. It's just, it introduces so much more that, like, Banjo-Kazooie is already chock full of amazing stuff, and you don't think they can add more. They literally build a world around the previous world. And that blew my mind, how massive the levels were, how interconnected, like, some of the stuff in Banjo-Kazooie was. Like, Wrath, you remember in Banjo-Kazooie when you went to Freezy Z Peak, right?
Yes.
Did you see an ice key in that walrus's home?
Yes, I did.
You don't get that in Banjo-Kazooie 1. In Banjo-Tooie, they actually address that. It's an ice key that was in a further area in Spiral Mountain. That becomes open in Banjo-Tooie.
Isn't it because of, like, some sort of, like a game swap sort of thing that they were
No.
building? No?
It was originally, but no. It's, it was for it to unlock a different area, I believe,
Yeah.
later on. But, yeah, for me, that was just... But
I
yeah,
believe-
Banjo-Tooie,
I believe
I could
they-
find no...
I think, sorry, going on, I don't know, I looked up some things, when it came to the Xbox 360 ports for the game, and I think, 4J, the guys that ported the games, I think they resurrected that feature and made it possible to get those items if you, played through Banjo-Tooie.
Oh, nice. But,
So
what
I
I was
think
saying...
it's still possible to get that item now.
But yeah, what I was saying was, is like, if there is, like I said, Banjo-Tooie, one of the most perfect games of all time. However,
Okay.
its final boss fight is not as climactic as the final boss fight in Banjo-Kazooie 1.
Because there was so much build up in the first game, right?
Yes.
It's the
Banjo-Tooie-
Gruntilda principle.
Yeah, it literally is. It literally has a name after itself. But, yeah,
Coined by
Banjo-Tooie-
JonTron.
Banjo-Tooie, it was amazing to end it forward, but when you get to the final boss, it's not underwhelming, but it's not as fulfilling as fighting Gruntilda. Spoiler alert, it's Gruntilda, but
Yeah.
it's not as fulfilling as that first time when you fought her, so that's my only complaint. So there you go. Everybody knows my all-time favorite game now. It's Banjo-Tooie. I can't compare any other game to it. Devil May Cry 3 comes close, but
Alright,
bitch blocks.
time to flip-flop this. The least favorite game of all time.
But something
Oh.
that you like about it.
Yeah. Should I go first? Because I went first
Yeah,
already.
go ahead.
What was,
first.
by the
Go
way,
ahead.
for posterity's sake, what was y'all's two?
Wait, I only had one. I only brought up one. You're the one that brought up two.
Yeah, I didn't. I asked the
like-
question. I actually, I was the
I'm
one that-
asking both of y'all. What was y'all's? like, what was
his
Tux?
was his
Zillia
was,
2 and 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing that he hated the most about it was
Frame rate issues
Yeah, the
mostly,
frame
and
rate
reuse
issues,
assets
basically.
for places all the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've noticed that, Joe. You're playing through Zillia.
Muttons, fresh muttons.
Yeah, I asked the question, but I was never asked it. So.
So go ahead, Drath. Go.
Oh,
go
sure,
for yours.
sure.
Your all-time
Um,
favorite.
Well, I've got a favorite games list, so I'm just gonna pick one of them out of the.
He's gonna pick Darksiders.
No, Darksiders is honestly not on the list.
Oh wow.
I love the game, but it's not on my favorites list. You know what? I'm gonna go with Spyro 2 because it holds a lot of it holds a place in my heart because it was one of basically.
Spyro 2 is the one where you get to be the penguin and the Yeti and the command.
No, that's Spyro 3.
Okay.
It's perhaps the best game of the original trilogy. However, as much as that game basically corrects a lot of the problems that the Spyro 2 had, Spyro 2 is my favorite.
Okay.
Because
what's your complaint with it?
My bigger complaint with it was
Hunter?
yeah, actually it was Hunter.
How much of a condescending, snarky asshole he sounds.
Oh, he was. I didn't notice it at first when I was a kid, but then playing it again when I'm an adult, I'm like, you're really condescending, aren't you? You sound like you sound like some adult character on a preschool TV show talking to little kids, and that gets under my skin.
Oh, don't you know it?
They fixed that in Spyro 3. Like he doesn't sound like
cool. Where he's cool guy now.
Yeah, he's just a cool guy. And he gets his fair share of the abuse.
But he's got a girlfriend in 3, don't he?
Yeah, Bianca.
Yeah, good for him.
But yeah, it was Hunter and there weren't too many glitches in the game, but there are a few game-breaking bugs. You have to really try to get them, but you don't get that in Spyro 3 too. Well, at least you don't get that in Spyro 3's Greatest Hits version. But yeah, no, Spyro 2, one of my favorite games. It's Hunter and a few bugs.
All right, but yeah, moving on to Tuck, we're gonna be wrapping this segment up with this.
So need
the worst game, but something that you like about it.
Oh god! All right. Like I said, the Tales of series is my favorite video game series, and of course it had its hiccups, and fairly soon you guys already know what the hell I'm gonna say.
Symphonia.
No, not Symphonia. Tales of Grace's F.
Ooh.
Oh,
I have no idea what that is, but go on.
Go look at his videos on his channel.
Tales of Grace's F is by far the biggest shit stain on a golden series I've ever seen in my entire life. The characters, only two of these characters are likable. The main character is a gigantic piece of shit. He's written terribly. Every time he always complains about how he can't protect anyone, but he's always protecting people. His younger brother is a better character than him and should be the protagonist because he's 10 times more interesting. His younger brother's wife is also 10 times more interesting than any other character in this entire game. Asbel's fucking teacher, Malik, is not even needed in this entire game. He's just here because we need an old person in a JRPG. Oh god. The story is absolute ass. Instead of getting rid of the world's biggest threat, we're trying to befriend them because this game has this stupid ass notion of friendship is magic.
Oh,
it can cause everything. It can fix everything.
Shonen Hero bullshit.
So it's Saint Seiya Omega syndrome.
Yeah, it's stupid. Graces is absolutely the most stupid game I've ever played in my entire life.
But what is it that you like about it?
Hubert and Pascal. These characters are so likable, and it's a shame that they're part of a rather piece of shit video game. Hubert was basically sold off to some lord in a different land by his dad because he said it'd be better for his country, and Hubert grew to hate his father and hate Asbel because Asbel abandoned the town after he did that because the other character, Sophie, who's a walking Deus Ex Machina, died, but also came back later, and he left because he wanted to be able to protect people. It was understandable at first, but then when he's continuously protecting people, when he's complaining about this, it makes no more sense. So Hubert grew to hate him, and he kicked him out. And Hubert just basically thrives on his own power to protect the people of Lant instead of his brother's selfishness. Pascal, however, is just well, she doesn't have much character development, but she's just probably the most like likable character in the cast. She's always like happy. She's always like
She's just straight up entertaining.
She's She's an entertaining character to watch, and it's great the fact that the two best characters in the entire game actually do end up being married at the end of it. It's almost too perfect.
Ah,
I can understand.
what's yours,
that.
Wrath? What's yours, Wrath?
Actually, let's go with yours, Joey.
Oh boy.
Game you hate, but something that you like about it.
My least favorite game. Everyone's going to laugh whenever they hear this because, like, okay, it's a tie, and it's not a big reason. It's a tie between Devil May Cry 2. But here's the thing: I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's one of my least favorite games of all time, but I don't hate it because if it weren't for Devil May Cry 2, I would never have gotten into the Devil May Cry series because that was the first game I ever played. So, but going back on it now and seeing how limp dick those that stinger move is, that's immediately the deal breaker. He's like Dante's like, ugh. But you know what I can forgive it for. There's a lot of things I can forgive it for, but the fact that Hideki eats was it Hideki Itsuno?
No, it's just it's
It's
well,
just
I
Itsuno.
don't know his
I can't remember
surname,
his.
but
I don't know his.
just
anyway,
call him Itsuno.
Itsuno. While that was a big flub on their part for multiple reasons, Itsuno built off of that mistake, and that's why I respect him for it. When he made Devil May Cry and 4, he knew what he was doing. Also, he made a better Dante than Kamiya did, in all honesty. Fight me, nerds. But one thing I loved about Devil May Cry 2, Argo Sax. For people who don't know,
Yeah,
Argo
I'll
Sax
agree.
is the main villain who, apparently during Sparta's travels,
Specifically, the Despair embodied.
despair embodied, not like the chaos. But Argo Sax, for people who don't know, was a powerful demon that Sparta sealed away thousands of years ago. But here's the kicker to this. This beast is supposedly stronger than even Mundus. Because the fact that, I'm not sure, like, this guy was spoken of legends in hell. Like, even hell was just like, nah, we don't talk about this guy. And the fact that Sparta had to put him to sleep, and you're thinking, oh, well, Sparta was taking precautions. When you fight the Despair Embodied, you see why Sparta could not kill this guy.
Now, by this time, chronologically, Dante's far
Has
surpassed
surpassed.
Sparta. But here's the real kicker: the Despair Embodied that you fight didn't finish incubating.
So the
He
only
was
reason,
still in the process of
Wrath,
actually
let Joey
becoming
do it.
stronger.
but yeah,
Go
as I said, yeah, as Rat said, he wasn't completely finished. So if anything, Dante kind of lucked out with his ordeal. But holy shit, does Argo Sax, the Despair Embodied, actually rank as one of the best boss fights in all of Devil May Cry? If not just for, like, aesthetic-wise, but mostly for, challenging, because you've got Argo Sax, then you've got Dante from Devil May Cry 4, then you've got Virgil Phase 3 in that
Now,
exact
if you were
order.
if you were in a better Devil May Cry game, that would make you shit your pants.
Exactly, like him in a Devil May Cry 5 game. Please make it happen. But, that aside, and my other disfavorite game is only for one reason. Sonic 06. Not because it's an unplayable mess, but because I was lied to. I felt lied to for the longest time, because when I first got it in 2007, it came out in 2006, but I got it in 2007, I played that game with the heaviest of denial. I kept saying in my head, this is really good, this is really good, the speed segments are going to be worth it. And then there would be times where I would clip through the ground, and for no reason whatsoever, I would sink into the ground and, like, die for no reason. And, yeah, I can't stand Sonic 06 because it just felt like a promise that was taken away from me.
Slap in the face.
Yeah, like, everybody, like, because here's the thing, all they showed in the trailer was the speed segments. You got to see how fast he was going. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what when you play the game. But the one good thing about that was Mephiles. Mephiles was just a good villain Mephiles.
Devil May Cry villain.
Mephiles was a great villain wasted on a bad Sonic game, just the way Silver was a great character with a great story wasted on a bad Sonic game. And that's all I've got to say about that. Spirit's gonna test on Silver's part.
Yeah, honestly, I have the game too, so I can attest to everything Joey's saying.
And your turn, Wrath.
Well, considering that we started this talk about
Silent Hill.
with Silent Hill,
Silent Hill! Silent Hill!
I might as well say, well, Downpour.
Downcoming.
It's gonna be hard to
Now,
meet.
okay, Downpour sucks. I really, really can't stand it as a Silent Hill game.
The only thing good that
But-
came out of that was Matt throwing that fire axe.
That was the highlight of my life, honestly. Love it. That was just perfect timing, really. But there's so much wrong with that game, not just as a Silent Hill game, but as a game in general, really. But it's the things that the things that I like about this game are some of the ideas. I know it sounds like a cop-out, but really, it just had these
It's just the
really
execution that
interesting
failed.
ideas that it had. It's like, okay, this is going to be very different from a Silent Hill game. It's, from your conventional Silent Hill game. It's using rain instead of mist. Okay. It's using, police as, the antagonist rather than, police themes as the antagonist rather than, some horror from another dimension.
Or
Okay.
crazed cultists.
Or crazed cultists. It's using more ghosts of the past, rather than your own psychological trauma. But, and this is kind of like just one piece of it, but there was the ending of Silent Hill Downpour. When you are facing off against that woman, that cop, I forget her name, but you take the form of I forget what his name is, but is basically supposed to be an ex-spy of Pyramid Head. He's in a raincoat and he's wielding a giant fucking hammer.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a really, really cool idea. For, gameplay, Silent Hill, whatever. It was a really cool idea to put you in the shoes of something that's been hunting you throughout the entire game. I thought it was brilliant. It gives you that power, it gives you that, just to show you how fucked you were. How destructive you could be. And then at the end it gives you that choice to whether you can continue to be that monster, or you could just leave it alone. Do something that Pyramid Head, or that you would never have the chance to do with a character like Pyramid Head. It was such a great idea, and I couldn't help but think, why can't I do this in Silent Hill 2? A much better game, because Pyramid Head really is a reflection of James's own guilt and psyche. Why can't I become this monster? Let's just say that I kill so many creatures, way more than 300 creatures in Silent Hill. And by the time I get to that point where I'm I know, now that, and then I get the great knife, but when I confront Maria or Mary or whoever is supposed to be at the top of that tower, I turn into Pyramid Head. And I have that power, and she's helpless against me. Why can't I have that moment in that game? And I love the idea.
If anything, it would reflect...
on James.
It would really reflect
on what kind of a person James is.
Exactly.
And depending on how on whether or not you really try your hardest to kill her, or whether you're just trying to avoid her, it would just impact the game so hard. And it wouldn't even have to be it could be just like something that you have to go through hell and high water to be able to do. It could have just done that. and like create a couple of extra endings just for that. And it's probably one of the few thing. It's a small thing, but it's one of the few things that I actually really like about Downpour. That ending, that last little bit, that promise that if it were in a different game, it would be so good. And that's all I can say.
Well, then I think we've wrapped things up here for tonight. This has been our first episode of Rainbow Factory After Dark. What should we call it?
Is that what we're calling it?
Well, it is fucking almost 3 a.m. for me.
So I want to call it After Dark, or do you want to call it like Rainbow Rant?
Crack of Dark.
Fuck it, let's just go After Dark.
Rainbow in the Dark.
Rainbow in the Dark, yeah, let's go with that.
The Rainbow in the Dark.
I don't fucking care. Where's my paycheck?
You don't get paid. Neither do I.
To work in this. Oh yeah, I forget. One more heads up. We will soon be doing an SCP series. This is this won't require much effort, but this will require a little bit of effort from everybody. It's going to be introduced. I'll give you more details on it, but more now, it's going to be each and every one of us introducing and randomly picking out an SCP file. We'll be going into depth and giving our personal thoughts on it by explaining it in a rather professional fashion.
This is gonna take some research, isn't it?
I got the website for y'all.
Yeah, no, I know the website exists.
By the way, this is
Just don't bring this shy guy around Spirit.
Oh my god, he will.
That's his fucking trigger.
He will freak.
He hates that thing so
I'm
much.
tempted to do a skit with that. It's like, great news, guess who gets SCP-096? And you just hear a crash.
Screaming. You just hear screaming.
Regardless, so yes, this has been Rainbow in the Dark, everyone. That's Tuck.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's Wrath.
Yo.
And I am the great and powerful White Void JoJo.
You wish.
Powerful. Great.
Okay, the narcissistic.
Whatever floats your boat.
I don't have a boat. I wish. Y'all have a good night.
A boat?